6 o'clock. Good morning, live from the Circus Sports at Main Kentucky Down studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Round 2 of the NBA playoffs on Sunday. New York Knicks are headed to the Eastern Conference Finals after winning 144-114 over the Philadelphia 76ers, and they complete the 4-0 series sweep. And Victor Wembanyama was ejected in the second quarter for the Spurs, and Anthony Edwards scored 36 points to lead the Timberwolves over the Spurs 114-109, and now their series is tied up at 2-2. NHL playoffs, the Canadiens have a 2-1 series lead over the Buffalo Sabres after a blowout 6-2 win on Sunday, and the Ducks in the nightcap tie their series up at 2 games apiece with a 4-3 win over the Vegas Golden Knights. NFL news this morning, the Chargers have agreed to terms with former Browns tight end David Njoku, giving him a 1-year deal worth up to $8 million. Njoku spent the first 9 years of his career in Cleveland. And Saturday night, Nashville Soccer Club trailed DC United 2-0 through the first 75 minutes of play, but then Warren Madrigal scored a brace with goals in the 76th and 89th minute to help Nashville to a 2-2 draw and earn a point on the night. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Monday morning, off and running on Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone and 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Good morning and welcome in. The number is 615-737-1045, and the crew's all here. The 11-year NFL vet, Vol for life, Ramon Foster, Justin Hawkins at the controls, myself, Will Bowling. On this Monday, May the 11th. How was everybody's weekend? Good morning.
We're good, man. You saying it again. I got at 7 o'clock when he wakes up and go to school. I got to wish my baby boy Miles a birthday, man. He's 14 today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Miles.
That's all we've been saying all weekend is, wow, how did we get here? We know how we got here. The question is, yeah, thank you, Hawk. We don't care.
We do care.
We do care.
Good luck, we also will say.
Yes, thank you, man. But yeah, baby boy's 14. I know I'm 40, but gosh, I got a 14-year-old at this point in life.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's all you can really say. So I wish him another birthday at the top of the 7, man, because Lord knows he's dead asleep right now. And Papa's up making a couple of strips of bacon so he can enjoy himself today. That's all. Also got him a nice little, he's into photography right now. He won't know about this right now.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Spoiler alert, but also not really.
Yeah, so we got him a cool little kit of some cheaper end stuff, because did you know that camera lenses are expensive?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, they go up, man, like really fast. I see why photographers that go to major sporting events or people that take family photos, I see why they're so expensive now.
Oh, and also see why they're so cautious when on a sideline you're in danger of being smushed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got
And then subsequently breaking said very expensive camera.
thousands of dollars of investment.
Just for the lens. Like, usually I figured out and looking stuff up, the camera part, like the actual camera, the Canon, Kodak, whatever you choose to use, is very, is doable. It's the lenses where you will really just get raked over the coals when it comes down to an investment. So I get why they're very protective of their images and want to be paid out for that type of stuff as well. Also, I realized too, tabloids, if you got spicy information, they do pay really good money for breaking news photos and stuff like that. I think we learned that with the NFL situation that we had recently with the coach and the reporter. So I think we kind of moving on from that a little bit. So I don't even want to reference it too much more, even though yesterday was a big hurdle for them, for all parties involved.
How so?
The way people talk about it publicly on Mother's Day, okay? The way people talk about it. I don't talk about it like this, but the way people talk about it, you know, depending on how many gifts you got to get and who's actually, involved and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just choose to leave it alone. You know,
Essentially, you're saying Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini are marked safe, like you would on Facebook after a disaster from Mother's Day.
Yes, exactly what I'm saying.
Safe from Mother's Day.
And marked safe from no new news yesterday on the big day for a lot of households yesterday with those type of situations going on. No news is good news in that type of situation right there, because TMZ will not stop. They are out for blood right now.
Getting their lick back after getting beat to the original story. It's literally what's happening.
Don't take them off. Well,
quite literally what's happening.
I click on Twitter this morning. Two situations that popped up. The second one is very personal to me.
Okay.
I think this is my former teammate, Fred Johnson, having a pregnant baby mama situation going on right now, which is crazy. They took it to TikTok. TikTok brought it to Twitter. Hate that for Fred. Fred's a good dude if this is the same Fred Johnson that I know of. He was a young, undrafted free agent out of Florida. And I saw recently where he was celebrating the pregnancy of his girlfriend at the time, whatever. Well, apparently if this is the same girl and same Fred, she's talking about he's abandoning her on Mother's Day. Come on, man. What are we doing here?
You really never know, though, with the way AI works now on social media anyway. So maybe it's just AI Fred.
So
not really him.
Maybe that.
Who's to say?
Who's to say? By the way, Hoff,
idea.
Did y'all celebrate Mother's Day lightly? She's close.
She is so close. Yeah, she got a month and a half until due date. Yeah. So we celebrated by cleaning the house as we prepare for our baby shower. That's what we did.
Nice.
You put that your sweet wife to work on
she did not. She watched me.
There's no who's the we.
Yeah, she pretty much watched me. She picked up the
rightfully so.
She picked up the garden shears and I said, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm going to cut this." Like, no, if you're going to cut anything, please don't cut the belly. Just don't. I was like, just wait for me. I will do it. She ended up painting something for Saturday. That's it. Yeah. I was like, just don't.
It makes my stomach hurt thinking about that.
Yeah.
My boy's in protection mode right now.
What are you doing?
Some would even call that a C-section.
All right, 615-737-1045 is our number. As we kick off this Monday morning, there has been a very specific theft at this seat. I have a qualm with someone who's messed with this area. So we have this monitor in front of us. I probably should wear blue light glasses. There are way too many screens in front of me and probably affects my brain chemistry. We've got our phone screener. I've got like the commercials coming up. And then there's this computer that all of us use. Oftentimes my YouTube and Gmail account is logged in when I walk in here. Someone else has used it, which that's a separate issue. That's not my complaint here. And there's a wireless mouse. Here, I'll even show the mouse on Zone TV. It's this Logitech blue mouse.
It's always over there.
There's a little like deck thing right around my right leg that has a little USB plug-in for this wireless mouse to be connected to this computer. Yeah. Someone has taken the little USB plug-in, and it is nowhere to be found. So I can't use this computer in front of me. Luckily, I did bring my laptop. It is charged because I am a broadcast professional who came prepared for work this morning. But I'm more just confused. Who would steal the little thing that allows a wireless mouse to work into a computer?
Who would even notice to take that?
I truly don't know. Unless this thing like somehow ran out of batteries and maybe somebody like took it to what? But then again, why would that need to be done? I truly have no idea what's happening.
That is a demerit.
We do know this. The only shows that were here this past week was Buck and Zach. Blaine and Zach.
Okay, well, then that narrows it down to two people.
From Friday, because we were out in the wild.
That's true.
We were out. The house cats were out.
And this thing was working Thursday, so I truly have no idea.
Who would have
Buck's YouTube account is open here on this computer still.
This is how investigations start right here, like properly. Who was last on scene? That's where we are.
Last on scene was Zach. Ooh. But there are fingerprints of Buck. So
that's what I'm saying. Like I'm here for it. We'll start with Buck first. I kind of want to blame him just because it's easy to at this point. Who takes that? Also,
I truly don't know. So we're gonna.
They would need a mouse.
Look around the studio
to work.
They would need the mouse in order for it to work.
It's just a USB plug-in at that point.
Yeah, the mouse is right here. There are actually four mice, if you will, plural of mouse, sitting here. There are four wireless things. Here's another one. Here's a gray one. Here's a blue one. There's a black one over there. None of them work, so I don't know.
I know, like, we take, like, office pencils and, pads, like writing pads and stuff like that. Like, taking a USB port for a mouse is something that you just don't have on the radar. Like, office stealing, I think, is somewhat normal. But, like, that prohibits everybody else from over there from working right there. And I feel like we got to bring a case up against whoever this was that allowed this to happen.
Very weird.
No, I'm here for it, Will. And we can slander them for the next 4 hours if you want to, like at the bottom or top of the hour, depending on what you want to do.
I don't really care enough. 615-737-1045 is our number. Carnell Tate signed his contract over the weekend. Sold. Usually these things used to take longer, and a lot of them would be around Memorial Day or even July 4th.
Sure would.
For first-round picks. Before 2011, that's what Mike Florio wrote, said most of these guys were doing this around 4th of July. Now plenty of them signed in early to mid-May. And on Friday, Carnell Tate agreed to his fully guaranteed contract, paying out $51.1 million and a $33.6 million signing bonus. With first-round contracts, in your experience, what often makes them take so long for teams to get to these agreements?
Positions, starting there first, I think, especially from the quarterback perspective. If there's a quarterback that was picked, fourth instead of fifth or fifth instead of fourth, you try to negotiate it because of the importance of it. The way the money's structured also up front.
Try to negotiate what, though?
Yeah,
like what specifically? How
much money is going to be up front for you?
Gotcha.
That's usually the case right there. And because the way the NFL is set it up right now, the contracts are slotted. I think they go up a certain percentage each and every year. From last year, you can pretty much tally what it is. I think last year we had a big situation with Cincinnati when they were trying to write in a clause for their defensive end selection last year as well, to where it was health-based, injury-based, and stuff like that. And that's where it can get kind of sticky with teams. If you've had a little bit of history, they might try to protect themselves, but the overall money, for the most part, is set in stone with how you're going to negotiate it. It's a matter of how you're going to be paid out, how much money is going to be given up front, et cetera, et cetera. But the entire 51 for him, or I think it's 53 for Jeremiah Love at 3 overall or 4th overall, it's pretty much slotted. There's not much around it that you can kind of negotiate out of, other than clauses for health, injuries, or how soon you get your money up front. That's the way it kind of goes down with today's NFL. I honestly like this method. I just want to see if guys or the NFL or fans are going to complain, because the last time these numbers got this high up was Sam Bradford. Back in like 2009, him and Matthew Stafford, if I'm not mistaken.
I think there's a correction that could happen in the market.
I'm wondering if it is, because they really dialed it back. They were giving Matthew Stafford, I think, $72 million to sign. And now that number's creeping back up. But here's the thing. The league has grown just as much so now. I think Cam Newton only got like $23 million guaranteed on his, which was that was a hard reset for the market at the time, considering what contracts were.
Sam Bradford got $50 million guaranteed, 6 years, $78.045.
Yeah.
For his rookie deal. Cam Newton got a 4-year fully guaranteed contract worth $22 million in 2011.
I'd have been sick. I'd have been livid if that was Cam Newton. But this was set up to allow veterans on the team to get a bigger piece of the pot when it comes down to the overall cap as well. This situation was essentially what it was allowing the veterans to get more of the pie, and have to have rookies prove that they belong in the circle with the veterans, though, too.
Because Jamarcus Russell had his long holdout, too, before he ever played, and then came to camp, and I'm not sure he was ever in shape his whole time as the quarterback of the Oakland Raiders.
No, he was not.
And so, yeah, I mean, I get it for the veteran perspective of like, why are we handing all this guaranteed money to a guy that still hasn't played a snap? I just don't feel like those things often go backward.
No.
In today's NFL, like the way that everything is built and as much money that is being added to the cap every single year, it's rare to see values take a step back.
That's true. I just wonder if there is a situation in which, now it's also looking at the bigger picture in all of this, but what happens when a rookie quarterback or rookie defensive end and wide receiver is number 1 overall and he gets $100 million guaranteed? It's creeping up rightfully so. The
It'll get
league
there.
is growing.
Yeah.
I do wonder, will there be any pushback the same way it was about Bradford and Stafford back in the day?
Part of the reason why we spend so much time covering the draft.
It is.
You're paying these guys a lot of guaranteed money before they ever even put on a helmet.
That's your welcome bonus right there. It's like, hey,
Sure
get
is.
in here and prove to us that you're worth this at this point in time. I'm glad to see it back up. I do know this as well. The league, I think by 2027, maybe next year, 2028, they're trying to facilitate all contracts. This has been a big, push from the NFLPA side and NFL as well to get the minimum up to $1 million for everybody across the board.
Wow.
As much as league TV revenue, gambling sites, and just advertisement is making, and the league has grown as well. That was the goal, is to get everybody up to $1 million minimum.
615-737-1045, our number live for the 1045 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. Monday headlines from the weekend for you coming up next. Ramon Will on 104.5 The Zone. Kicking off hour number 1, 615-737-1045. Our number. Not a crazy sports weekend by any means. Maybe it was, though, if you were a New York Knicks fan. 144-114 on Sunday. Sweeping the second round over rivals Philadelphia. Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and the Knicks, Ramon, are back in the Eastern Conference Finals. And it's odd to me that a bunch of guys that went to Villanova just absolutely blitzed their college town's NBA team in a 4-game sweep.
Man, insane. Embarrassing if you're Philly. It's just the way it was. That game yesterday, man, was fully embarrassing. The Knicks had 73 or 78 points in the second quarter. Not the second half.
Not just that quarter.
Yeah. No, not just that quarter. But, like, they had up to 70-plus points that's what I should say,
there you go.
the second quarter with about 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Like, it was comical watching it. I know they were already 3-0 as it pertains to the series record or whatever, but, like, give a little bit. Just give a little bit is what you're asking for in those moments right there. But here's the other part, though, too. New York is clamoring for this. The city, the organization, the players, the OGs that are showing up to the games each and every game. Because I will say this, the Garden, the way most have painted it to be, I've walked outside of it. I hadn't gone to an event inside of it at all, but I get the nostalgia. I get the history from it behind it as well. And if you got an opportunity to go to what they call the Mecca, I would say go, especially when they're good, and they're really good right now. I got to give it to Cat Carr. Anthony Towns is doing his thing right now. Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson is elite too, but they play great team basketball, and I would say this too, they play good defense. But the way the game is set up now as well, if you get hot from behind the three-point line, that's almost as good as any defensive set that you can run for yourself, especially if the other team's not being able to connect. This team, I think, shot 55% from three-pointer. The Knicks did in the first half. 55. They're just basically throwing it in the ocean at that point in time. Karl Anthony Towns was 2 for 3. That ought to tell you just where they were. Like, you got a big 7-footer like him shooting three-pointers as well, and they were simply throwing it in the ocean. It got so bad that you pretty much saw Philadelphia quit. Like, that's essentially what it was. Like, I've been in games where I've seen pros kind of lay down where they want to even look you in your eyes. I don't know if Moore is more, transparent than watching the NBA team just run up and down the court and eventually have to go to their young guys, because that's just where your competition is going to come from at that point in time. Paul George, just one of those guys, playing over 25 minutes and only scored 7 points in the game as well. Like, this to me was a very telling side of where the game is for Philly, who couldn't really do much because Joel Embiid isn't as healthy as he needs to be as well, but he still gave it his all. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's still
never healthy.
Never healthy. And I honestly don't know what Philly's going to be able to do with that team to allow it to get over the hump, because the same way that the Knicks are wanting to get a championship, because it's been a long time for them as well, like, Philly's claiming for that too. They are the sports city as well. And they got a bunch of fans that let you know that they are a sports city. Watching that game, New York traveled.
Yeah, it felt like a home game.
It was.
It was crazy seeing a lot of the videos. And there was a classic. This happens every time. There was a local TV reporter in Philadelphia doing a stand-up outside the arena, just totally mobbed. Totally mobbed by Knicks fans live on local Philadelphia television.
Yeah.
Kind of felt bad for her.
They were all over it, man. But again, Tyrese Maxey's nice. Joel Embiid, I don't know how long his future's going to be in basketball if he continues to be this injured as well. I get why they want him out there. He's a 7-footer, athletic as heck. He can shoot from outside, but it ain't his game. But watching him play, especially I think it was in the Orlando series that they played in, when he's on, there's nothing you can do about it. Like, and that's the issue, is you want good Joel Embiid. He's amazing. But to your point, when are you going to get him consistently? And at this point in what they got going on, I'm not saying you look over his shoulder, but you do have to start planning to either be very aggressive in free agency or find ways to move him or somebody around to make it more competitive. They got good bones over there. Did you also know that former Auburn star Janai Broome was with them as well? He even got some burn.
I did know that.
He got some burn this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Knicks have outscored opponents by 194 points in 10 games this postseason. That is the best point differential in a 10-game span in NBA playoff history. Their 144 points yesterday were the most in franchise playoff history. They also became the 5th team in NBA history with multiple 140-point games in a single postseason. So a crazy win last night. Who do you identify more with fan base-wise? Like, who do you like more?
Who do I like
New
more?
York sports fans or Philadelphia sports fans?
New York.
I feel like Knicks Knicks fans are kind of their own breed of New York fans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if the Giants or Jets have like the kind of fan base that the Knicks do.
I agree with
And
you.
certainly not the Yankees or Mets. But heck, I mean, Mets fans don't really exist, to be fair, compared to Yankees fans up there. But I mean, I guess they do. They're just, they haven't had anything to cheer about.
The Knicks have had something to cheer about. I would go there. When was the last time Giants?
Because the Knicks have closer to like the Mets history.
They do.
Yet their fan base is rabid. The Mets have a lot of fans. That's not totally fair for me to say.
And the most recent New
They're
York
just
championship came from the New York Giants, though. I mean,
Yeah,
it was
that's true.
a while ago at
That's
this
true.
point in time, but it's the most recent one. I think with basketball, you have the ability to make certain moves that you believe in a whole lot more than you do on the football side. When you look at where the Giants are, like, you can say to yourself, like, there's a lot that is weighed upon Jackson Dart to get it right, and all the young defensive players that they have, and John Harbaugh, like, that part of it, like, they might have some belief in it. I feel like when you look at also the Jets, it's the same conversation. Like, there are good young bones there, but football is such a different sport to compare to basketball, because when you look at it on the young NBA side of things, like, a young rookie can really change it around. Like, Jalen Brunson, for the most part, is going to be available in New York, and Karl Anthony Towns has the presence, the ability, the athleticism, and skill to make a team good. Jackson Dart might have that for the Giants, but he can't really show it because there might be 7 other dudes that are trash around him, or the head coach might be bad, or all of those type of issues as well. And I would add this as well, too. Like, you can lose a game in the regular season in basketball and still be fine. You can't really lose in the NFL season like this, not this many games, and be okay. So, yeah, I do think there's a better understanding of, I think, basketball fans in general when you're good versus football fans when you're trying to be good. Like, when they made the trade for Karl Anthony Towns, you somewhat ask the question, like, okay, what are they doing here? And then it turns out to be the right move to make. I also say this, too. When you look at the game that it is as far as football and basketball as well, as much as we try to minimize bigs, because they traded Julius Randle to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Karl Anthony Towns, though, too. What I do notice still is the game on all levels is still a big man game. You look at the teams that are still in it, all of them for the most part got bigs, from Wemby to Karl Anthony Towns, all up and down the board. When you look at Chet, also in Oklahoma, like, they got guys that are bigs. And it's fascinating how much we make it a small man game. But when it really boils down to, if you got some complementary pieces around the big, you really got a strong chance of winning. And I think that's almost at any level right now. It's not just offensive line play that I love. It's bigs in the NBA as well.
I never doubted that. I just think New York is just such a basketball town, and it does feel like, I mean, as many places that have blacktops and courts just around New York City that people are playing the sport, there's probably more people around New York City playing hoops or playing basketball or just running pickup than you would have fields of people playing pickup football or just throwing a football around. It feels like it's just uniquely a basketball city.
Yeah.
And the state of New Jersey as well, an underrated state with really good high school and AAU basketball. That's kind of the culture of the Northeast.
Yes.
They treat basketball the way that we treat football.
They do. And to your point, though, too, like, I was ignorant for a while about football coming out of the state of New York. I'm not realizing there's Buffalo, Rochester, and all the other places around. Like, even in New York City, New York. there's football there. I mean, to be quite honest, not to peel back the Band-Aid a little bit, but Isaiah Wilson's from, what was it, the Bronx, if I'm not mistaken? Like, he played football.
Oh, that's the best example.
I know. Which is crazy to me because, like, he's an anomaly coming out of there. I think as a 4 or 5-star offensive lineman. Like, brother, one, do y'all have grass to play football on? Like, that's how wild it was to me to think about football coming out of the state of New York. Not, like I said, the rural parts of it or the suburban side of New York, but it's fascinating that they have inner city or New York City, New York football players coming out of that state right there. Now, they got a different school system as well. Like, they travel, they move around, but I just have never seen, in my times of visiting New York City, a football field in Brooklyn or the Bronx.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, New York City is just uniquely a basketball town.
It's, concrete jungle, most
definitely. They certainly took over Philadelphia.
Yes, they did.
Over the weekend, that's for sure.
They're more prideful about it, I think, for sure.
The Minnesota Timberwolves made it 2-2, 114-109 last night. Anthony Edwards, 36 points in 40 minutes. Victor Wembanyama ejected with un flagrant deux. It's French for flagrant 2. He elbowed Naz Reid and was immediately ejected and looked like he didn't really understand what flagrant 2 meant.
He didn't. He did not.
Not really his game, being ejected and mixing it up like that.
He asked Harrison Barnes, what did they say? He's like, it's a flagrant 2. And he was like, you're ejected. He's like, I'm ejected.
They're calling him the Draymond Green of Western Europe now.
I must say, Wemby was due this. He was due one. If y'all are watching San Antonio play, they are climbing him like he's a tree in the games. They on
three?
Yes. 3? I don't know if we're saying 3
Probably
point
my
or tree.
worst accent, to be fair.
Do you know French?
No.
Oh,
not
okay.
even a little bit.
Wow, he got you there.
Not even a little bit.
You
got him, though.
Point bowling.
But no, for real.
Thanks for the clarification.
I need a croissant breakfast sandwich down this morning.
Listen, at this point, get you that in espresso.
Espresso.
Is that how we say it?
Pretty sure espresso is Italian. I don't know if that's French.
Yeah, we're just having fun now.
Is it? We got to look this up, man.
We got Ramon going, though.
You did get me going, man.
Espresso origin, Italy in the early 20th century.
Yeah. Wow.
Espresso.
We got people out here right now. Keith Bullock is from New York, but what part of New York? Like, Syracuse is not New York City.
No, New York State and New York City are two extremely different,
like, it's country
separate
there.
Entities.
Yeah.
And then so is New Jersey.
Yeah. But to that point, though, too, Wemby was due this. He gets beat up every game. Like, having been a big myself while playing basketball, having watched my kids be tall, play basketball, we go to the gym and see the big kid, man, Cutter Sisk out of Beach, man, gets beat to crap like every weekend. And Wemby was due one blow up, and this was it. Naz Reid, though, is such a good dude that I think the target was wrong. The intent of, like, y'all get the heck off of me, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Every now and then, you're due a little violence. You just are. And Wemby was due one, man, because they was beating him up. He caught Naz Reid right under the neck, man, and immediately you knew that he was about to be gone in the game. And you got to give it to Minnesota as well. They took advantage of it. Even Anthony Edwards said it after the game, like, we got a gift pretty much when Wemby got ejected, and they took full advantage of it. Here's the thing about it. Anthony Edwards absolutely cooked in this game, though.
36 and 40.
Brought him back. He hit a 3-point that was a dagger later in the fourth quarter. His ability to drive, and I'll be honest with you, the way the referees are swallowing the whistle and he still finishes is elite. That game just wasn't San Antonio's to win after Wemby went out. They just didn't have enough. They competed. No, they did have enough. This game was still relatively close until the last, 12 seconds of the game. And that shows you what type of team that the Spurs have if Wemby is out there. But everybody stepped up yesterday, man, from the Minnesota Twins. Great atmosphere.
Twins?
I said Twins.
You were? You did
say twins. I recognize it now. From the Timberwolves. Everything was in order for the Timberwolves to win that one, too. Keisha was asking my wife, I was rooting for both sides. And she was like, I thought we were going for Minnesota because of Ant-Man's like, Keisha, I can't lose right now. Between Wemby and the Spurs and Minnesota with Ant Edwards, it's good basketball. It's just good old-fashioned basketball. And yes, there's a lot of threes being shot, but it's worth watching.
Sad news over the weekend as longtime Atlanta Braves manager Bobby Cox passed away. And you may be like me and you grew up hearing Bobby Cox from the dugout yelling, "Let's go, kid," at Chipper Jones, at many Atlanta Braves over the years. Really, really sad as kind of an era of my childhood and many of yours ended over the weekend. Comes just days after the death of longtime Atlanta Braves owner Ted Turner, who both fired and rehired Bobby Cox to lead his team. Bobby Cox spent 25 years as the Braves manager, 5 as the team's general manager. He was synonymous with an unprecedented run in professional sports that I don't think we'll ever see again. Of the Atlanta Braves winning 14 consecutive division titles, 5 National League pennants in the 90s, and of course the World Series championship in 1995. We will also never see a manager with the technology that we have now and the reviews and the ABS be ejected 162 times in his career. That is enough to fill an entire season now as well, and always has in Major League Baseball with 162 games, far and away the record, but was emblematic of a manager and a coach that fought tooth and nail for his guys as much as any coach or any manager ever has in professional sports and college sports or anywhere where 3 or more are gathered and there is a team. Bobby Cox fought for his players more so, or at least as much as anyone in the history of sports. 2,504 wins. They don't make them like Bobby Cox anymore. And condolences to his family and the Atlanta Braves organization. Was really sad to see that over the weekend.
Yeah, no doubt. I did see that. I know a bunch of Atlanta Braves fans are probably in their feels about Ted Turner and Bobby Cox.
Absolutely.
Within the same week. I see somebody put in the chat, they won 7-2 against the Dodgers. What a nice look.
Won the series.
Send off to both of them.
They're the best team in baseball right now.
Has Bobby Cox been visible as of late?
He's
though?
not.
He has not been visible?
Not for years at this point. So he suffered from congestive heart failure and other complications after a major stroke in April of 2019. And really, I don't think for over the last 3 years has been in the ballpark very much. When he was there, he would kind of be in a suite by himself with his wife and with some family and close friends. They'd show him on the Jumbotron and show him on the broadcast, and the place would go nuts. But no, he's not been around the past couple of years very much.
Tough, man. I don't know a whole lot about Bobby Cox other than the fact that you just told me he got kicked out 162 times. Do you think when he hit 161, like somebody told him, brother, you need to go for 162?
Well, people were on social media were telling Walt Weiss, the new Braves manager, over the weekend, like, hey, man, got to go get ejected for Bobby. Got to go honor Bobby. Got to get thrown out. And that doesn't happen as much as it used to in today's day and age. But he's a legend.
How many championships did he get?
1.
He got 1.
1995.
95. Mm-hmm. So didn't they get 99 as well?
Nope.
No, that was the Yankees.
Unfortunately.
Oh, never mind.
Yep, part of their three-peat.
Jeez, what a wild time. Bobby Cox, man, R.I.P. Atlanta's kind of gone through it, man, as of late.
Yeah, Bobby Cox, Ted Turner in the same week.
Hawks got kicked out. Your Hawks also got kicked out of the playoffs.
I'm not going to put that in the same category as 2 legendary Braves sports figures dying. The Hawks getting beat by the Knicks. I don't know. That's a different category.
Oh, that's who it was. It was Knicks and Hawks. You're right. They got rolled in that game, too.
That was just a death in the sports context, not in the life context.
I mean, it's kind of like a funeral, though, so there is that part of it.
615-737-1045. There is an NFL team that is taking seats out of their stadium and selling them for a lot of money. How much would you pay for your seat in a stadium? Topical with the changes the Titans are making right now. We'll talk about that next.
When you start noticing cracks in the walls, uneven floors, or driveways sinking and separating, it's more than a home issue. It's a peace of mind issue. That's why who you choose for foundation repair and concrete leveling really matters. I trust United Structural Systems because they've been doing this right. They've been doing this the right way since 1994, right here in Tennessee. USS doesn't believe in quick fixes or scare tactics at all. They take the time to inspect, explain what's happening, and walk you through real proven solutions that are built to last. Whether your home needs foundation stabilization, crawl space repair, or concrete leveling for sinking sidewalks, patios, or driveways, USS uses engineered systems designed for long-term performance, not those temporary patches at all. From the initial inspection to the final repair, USS listens, they educate, and deliver results you can trust so you can feel confident your home is safe today and protected for the future. With decades of experience and thousands of home repairs, you can trust United Structural Systems is here today and here to stay. USS is also introducing 24 months no interest financing options, good now through the end of June. So go ahead and jump on this. Learn more, schedule your inspection at USSTN.com, and make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
Ramon Will, 104.5 The Zone, wrapping up hour number 1. A new series on the show this summer starts today called State of the Program. I'm going to give you just an overall vibe check, a 2026 season preview for every team in the SEC, mixed with the pressure, with the new hires, the new faces, all of it. And we'll do that starting locally with the Vols. Coming up here in just about a half hour. 615-737-1045. Drew in McMinnville wants to talk Braves this morning. What's up, Drew? How we doing?
Morning, fellas. I'm doing great. I just want to say rest in peace to Bobby Cox, Ted Turner, two legends. Love Bobby Cox. Will, I just want to ask you one thing, baby. How about them Braves?
Yes, sir. Best team in baseball.
Took 2 out of 3 from the big bad Dodgers. That's the Dodgers. That's all I got to say. Tonight, money, come get you some. We had them in a chokehold. Tell them to shut up by Sunday. And I tell you what, the National League watched Saturday night's highlights and went, oh, crap. Because if Spencer Strider comes back looking like that, they're in trouble.
It's true.
He's turned into a different kind of pitcher. He knows he can't just overpower guys anymore, and he's just out there painting, mowing down the big best lineup in baseball. Shut up, dude. That's not the best lineup in the baseball. The Braves are. But, yeah, and I just feel like when Ha-Seong Kim comes back, they got to put Mauricio Dubon. He has to be the left fielder at that point. Dude,
I agree.
He's just too good. Dude.
Totally agree.
The best pickup of the offseason. I'm going to hang up. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you, Drew. Couldn't agree more. Because Mike Yastrzemski, the former Vanderbilt outfielder, has been awful. Respectfully.
Really?
Yeah, he's not been good.
I thought you was going to come with a little praise right there.
No, not been good for Atlanta. So, yeah, Mauricio Dubon, they got in a straight-up trade. They sent Nick Allen to the Astros for Mauricio Dubon, and that is one of the best trades that Alex Anthopoulos has ever made. The guy is a league average hitter plus defense, but he's clutch. Yeah. He just comes up with big hits and big moments. And, yeah, Ha-Seong Kim coming back soon. Spencer Strider, the Knoxville native, was outstanding on Saturday to beat the Dodgers 7-2. They look good. They look really good. They are a legit World Series contender this year.
Riddle me something if you have the knowledge of it. How can a center fielder be bad? Speed, location of the ball?
Can't hit.
Oh, can't hit. Yeah, start there first.
Awful at the plate.
Oh, that's tough.
He's a right fielder anyway, too.
Oh, right fielder?
Yastrzemski.
Okay, geez.
Right, he's
tough.
just a corner outfielder. Yeah.
That's tough. I love how Braves fans, though, are just slam dunking the Dodgers and anybody else right now. Y'all are hot. Now,
well, I mean, they lost 8 straight games at Dodger Stadium until Saturday, and then they won 2 in a row, won the series.
Well, man, listen.
Everybody loves slam dunking the Dodgers. They're like the easiest team to hate in sports right now.
So the most hated team, Dodgers, Yankees, for you, Philly, Mets.
For me or just in general?
Just in general. Your top 5 hate list for baseball teams, pro MLB baseball
that I
teams.
hate again, or like that the world hates?
That you hate.
Okay. Phillies won. Easily. That's not even close.
Are they good right now? No, they're not good. Bad. Okay, even better.
Better after they fired Rob Thompson and hired Don Mattingly as their interim.
Even better for you, though, that they're bad. Number 1.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. The Phillies will always be my most hated baseball team.
I'm here for it.
I'm going to go now Dodgers 2.
Dodgers 2.
Historically, I would have said the Yankees, but the Dodgers, with their current empire of spending and their just ability to take every good player and pay them in escrow until they're 50.
They drop it off.
Yep. Dodgers 2, Yankees 3.
Okay.
Give me I don't respect the Mets enough to put them 4 because they don't move the needle.
But out of your top 5,
they're not relevant enough for me to really have a feeling about them. They're just kind of the Mets.
But they're on the back end of it, though.
It's kind of like it's the way we feel about Kentucky football as Tennessee football.
Gotcha.
Kentucky football, New York Mets, exact same vibe.
Okay.
Just the exact same vibe.
For sure.
I'll at least put them next. And then, I don't know. There's not really another one I hate all that much, to be quite honest with you.
Washington?
No, they're terrible.
Don't do nothing for you.
Ownership doesn't care. They're never good.
Boston?
No, I don't dislike Boston.
You don't dislike Boston?
Why would I?
I thought Boston was disliked by everybody because their fans are so obnoxious.
I don't think their fans are obnoxious.
You don't think so? Baseball
I like
fans?
Red Sox fans.
Okay.
I feel like everyone, even if they don't cheer for the Yankees or Red Sox, kind of picks a side in that rivalry. I always liked the Red Sox.
Okay.
I always respected the Red Sox. I think Fenway Park is the coolest ballpark in baseball. It's the next one I want to go see. And no, I don't mind Red Sox
I got your
fans.
fifth one just because of what they did.
Okay.
Astros.
Oh, yeah. That's actually a great one.
All right, yeah.
That's a great one, yeah.
Astros would be
Astros. Astros 100% be fifth.
No doubt about it. That's fascinating. Top 5 hate groups. That might be a Mount Rushmore conversation one day.
Most hated teams?
Most hated teams.
I don't mind.
Be a draft.
Yeah, it might be a draft one day.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm there for it.
Ethan is up next on the phone. What's up, Ethan?
Morning, Ethan.
Hey, fellas, how's it going this morning?
Good,
Had a
man.
good weekend. Will, wanted to thank you, man, for giving a tribute to the legend Bobby Cox. You know, end of an era for us Braves fans. I think me and you were about the same age, and so super sad. But you know, what a legend in the Braves community. But Will, I was going to also allude to what you talked about with the Titans selling, you know, a seat that you sat in the Titan Stadium in the past.
Yeah.
So that kind of reminded me, and I go to a lot of Braves games each year, and they have their own memorabilia shop of stuff from the old Turner Stadium or stuff from game-used items recently. So I'm like, maybe the Titans should do that in the new stadium they have to where, you know, the fans can buy autographed memorabilia, game-used jerseys, because we go there for the we go there for the players.
Right.
We love them. So get y'all's opinion on that. Maybe that's something they should look into.
Yeah, thanks, Ethan. I have been by that store. I've never bought anything there because it's very expensive. But they've got game-worn jerseys. They've got bases that have been used in games. A ton of different like game-issued and game-used things that have already been used and are no longer needed. And this came up because the Steelers are replacing a lot of the seats in Acrisure Stadium. It's Heinz Field. It's not Acrisure Stadium. And they're selling a single seat for $400. The Steelers are.
Yeah, that's about right. And it's going to sell too, 100%. Like, they're just rechanging the seats out. But I've gone to people's house or seen it around the places where you walk into their man cave, boom, stadium seats are right there too.
Right.
Yeah, they must be in a sell-off right now too. You want to know why? You speaking of like memorabilia and jerseys and like stuff like that. Man, somebody tweeted them. I got to hit them back because this is fascinating to me. I thought every game I played in, my jersey was the same. Here's somebody just bought my entire outfit from a game. Can you see? You can see it, can't you? Like, there's a camera. Insane to me. It is the away game jersey. I'm not sure where it was, but like certificate of authenticity is on it too. I think this person's bought the entire outfit. Like, I knew I was pretty solid, but
that's gotta feel weird. Someone is wearing your whole.
I don't know how to feel.
Everything that you've worn.
I genuinely don't know how to feel about it, but it happened. Like, the entire outfit is up for sale or somebody just recently bought it. So yeah, I thought I was playing in the same white jersey for the duration of the entire season. No, somebody just auctioned it off. I ain't mad at it. Ain't mad at it at all.
That's funny.
Buy me. No, buy my stuff.
A pair of seats, $600 from the Steelers. This, to me, is so stupid. You can buy an individual seat back for $200. Why would I want just the seat back? I can never sit in it again. Or just the seat bottom for $149. Like, well, what does that do for me? I'm just going to put that somewhere in a drawer or a box. Like, what? I don't even know what you would do with just a seat back or seat bottom. $150.
Sled down a hill. That's about it. That's about it.
Very odd. Apparently, black seats coming to Acrisure Stadium.
Why?
They don't want as much eyeball scorching effect of bright, piercing yellow, is what this article says.
Fair. That's fair.
615-737-1045. Speaking of baseball, Tony Vitello is not off to a great start in San Francisco, making headlines for the wrong reasons over the weekend that we'll talk about next. Hey, it's Will Bowling from my friends at Brentwood Jewelry. Hey, spring is the time for the perfect proposal, and Brentwood Jewelry is here to help you pop the question. Let them help you take the stress out of selecting the perfect engagement ring. They can help you find a beautiful ring in your ideal budget. Browse their incredible selection of one-of-a-kind rings or talk with their custom design specialists to create a stunning ring as remarkable as your loved one. Did you know only 1 in 4 men involves their partner when purchasing an engagement ring? And nearly a third of women say they would prefer to help pick it out. Let Brentwood Jewelry propose a few rules of engagement. They're going to let you go through this entire process and ask your partner how involved they want to be, discuss the expectations, and come up with a custom solution that works for you that they're going to be able to help you through. I can recommend it. I've been through this process. Brentwood Jewelry will make things easy. Online at BrentwoodJewelry.com, 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Shop local at Brentwood Jewelry, your family-owned and operated jewelry store for over 50 years.
7:03. Good morning, live from the Circus Sports, the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. NFL news this morning. The first Sunday night game of the NFL season was just released. September 13th, we'll see the Giants host the Cowboys at MetLife Stadium in Week 1. The full schedule release is this Thursday, May the 14th. Round 2 of the NBA playoffs on Sunday. The New York Knicks are headed to the Eastern Conference Finals after they beat the Philadelphia 76ers yesterday, 144-114, and complete the 4-0 series sweep. And in the nightcap, Victor Wembanyama was ejected in the second quarter for the Spurs. Anthony Edwards goes on to score 36 points as he leads the Timberwolves over the Spurs 114-109 and tied their series up at 2 games apiece. NHL playoffs on Sunday. The Canadiens have a 2-1 series lead over the Buffalo Sabres after a blowout 6-2 win on Sunday night. And the Ducks tie their series up 2 games apiece with a 4-3 win over the Vegas Golden Knights. Saturday night, Nashville Soccer Club trailed DC United 2-0 through the first 75 minutes of play, but then Warren Madrigal scored a brace with goals in the 76th and 89th minute to help Nashville to a 2-2 draw and earn a point on the night. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into hour number 2 of your Monday morning. Hope you had a great weekend. 615-737-1045 is our number. A little chilly out there.
Yeah, it is.
Feels nice for early mid-May. Coming up in just about 15 minutes, state of the program, an overall vibe check on Tennessee Vols football. We're going to do this for all 16 SEC teams over the summer and just take stock of where things are at, short term and long term, how each team is looking heading into the upcoming season, and just the overall vibe of how the fan base may feel, how safe the coach may be at each of these places, how much pressure they are under heading into the year. We'll do that starting locally with the Vols and Nashville's team to start off with, coming up here in 15 minutes. Speaking of Vols coaches, though, Ramon.
Yeah, hold up real quick. Can I do a state of the parenthood of myself and my wife?
You may do whatever you'd like to.
I just want to get a happy birthday to my youngest, Miles, man. He turns 14 today. Hopefully he's listening. I don't know if they're listening to me or music because he controls the aux cord in our cars, okay, just so you know. But shout out to my baby boy, man, 14 today, going to high school. Like, being a parent now really sets in when your youngest is, like, fully into the teens. So, happy birthday, kiddo, man. Love you.
Happy birthday, Miles. We care.
We do care. We do care.
I don't really like that sound. I feel like we do care about birthdays. I don't know.
Would you rather the song?
I mean, we can just say it.
Yeah, we can just say it. I'm not going to sing it, even though you got to do it.
That's for
the
Buck
song
show,
I've got
because
back here.
Buck complains about everything, and so that's his thing, is he'll say, I don't care, good luck.
Yeah.
So that fits more Buck show than it does this show.
No doubt, man. I'm a little youngin', man. Told him yesterday. Hey,
This is my song I got back here.
Did you make this? You composed it?
Sure.
Does it just say, hey? Oh, okay. There you go. That'll work.
My boy.
That'll work. Happy birthday,
That's what
Miles.
I'm talking about, man. Appreciate that.
Big one for
Hawkins.
the next 2 birthdays, too.
Yeah.
Are very big ones.
Man, listen to him. I let him behind the wheel of my truck. Yeah, I was so nervous. He only backed it up. I will give him credit. One time I was allowing him. I was outside of the truck this time. Mm-hmm. He hit the gas real quick, but he also hit the brake. And I was just like, thank God, because we live on a hill. And that could have got real ugly because panic would have set in. But my baby boy, he handled it, though. So we're in it. I don't know. Parenthood is crazy these days. But
Where's the first place y'all ever drove? Like when you're...
Miles or just me in general?
No, you specifically. When did you drive a car? Like where did you drive a car for the first time?
A backcountry road in Henning, Tennessee. Like,
so you went straight into a road?
Yeah, I went straight into a road. Yeah.
I started in a church parking lot.
Did you?
A very large church. I could just say it. Brentwood Baptist.
Yeah.
The Brentwood Baptist parking lot right out there on Concord Road in Brentwood.
Tough.
That is like the size. When I was a little kid, I thought that Brentwood Baptist was an airport. I just thought it looked like an airport. It's like, I feel like I'm at an airport.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is a church. Just a very large church parking lot that there were no cones even that I could hit. There was nothing that I could hit.
We live, well, never mind. Our street doesn't have much traffic on it.
Dox yourself out here.
I was. Our street doesn't have much traffic on it. RJ, I think, drove on our road first. Then we went to the church, and everything else we went to Long Hollow Baptist. And they got a big old parking lot now as well. You see what's crazy. You see all kind of kids and their parents like basically learning how to drive in that parking lot now as well.
I highly recommend big church parking lots because if you are fearful of putting your new driver behind the wheel, at least the Lord's with you there. The Lord is near.
Nothing more nerve-wracking than doing it. I put RJ behind the wheel on Briley Will for the first time.
Ooh.
It was
risque.
Oh. And it was in the old 250 that I had too. That was a terrible. Cold. Did you just get a chill?
I did. It's cold.
You shook right there. All right, let's move on from that. Ooh. Putting your kid on the highway is by far one of the craziest things you can ever do.
I'm sure.
But it's part of it. You'll see one day.
I will.
In the future.
Oh, very, very far future.
Yeah, very far future.
I learned in my elementary school because on the weekends they leave their cones up from where they do their carpool and stuff. Yeah, they have all the cones still up when they get all their organizing their traffic stuff. So I learned on the weekends at the elementary schools.
I drove that one time on the road, though, when I told you about it. I was like 13, 14. I almost ran into a doggone ditch. I didn't drive for like 3 years after that. My stepdad didn't trust me. My granddaddy would let me drive, though, because he lived on the farm, but lives on the farm still.
Well, we talked a lot coming into this baseball season about the interest of Tony Vitello and the San Francisco Giants. Kind of a story that is going to be interesting to follow just for how unprecedented it is for a sitting college coach to coach in Major League Baseball. I'm curious how many Vols fans or just sports fans in general have really paid attention. But if you haven't, the Giants are terrible. And a fan base that is not known for booing its own team, booed its own team over the weekend. In the Giants' 13-3 loss to the Pittsburgh Pirates, Tony Vitello tried to make a pitching change in the sixth inning, had a righty and a lefty both up in the bullpen, and just pointed to the bullpen, and they didn't know which pitcher they wanted. Yeah, righty JT Brubaker, lefty Matt Gage. It took a while for Tony to actually signal with his, hey, I want the lefty, to face the Pittsburgh Pirates lefty O'Neal Cruz, who was about to come up. It was the shortstop who had to make the call and say, hey, lefty. Need the lefty coming in. Then you have Tony Vitello speaking with the media, this via KNBR in San Francisco, talking about effort for his team after having the worst record in baseball over the weekend.
When things kind of get rough like they did tonight and fans start to boo and just kind of get into it in that form, I guess just what side of the spectrum are you on in terms of, do you understand and accept that when something like that happens, or is it maybe something you don't prefer when something like that happens?
Well, what would you do if they paid for their ticket, or they, at the very least, even if it was free, they chose this over everything? I mean, there's 85 million shows you can watch on Netflix or every other deal there is, or in this city. I haven't gone out much, but anytime I have, there's a lot going on. So, and then also, I kind of grew up in a weird situation. I never had one team that, was deeply rooted in my family and passed down. I've seen it in college and in pro sports, but I don't know, I kind of had a little different deal going on. So whether it's you paid for your ticket or you just chose to do this, over other options, or maybe your walls are painted orange and black and this is the team your whole family for generations has supported, you got a lot invested, so you want something in return. At the very least, a good effort, maybe execution here and there. So now, would also like in turn, it's almost like a teammate thing, which sounds silly. In turn, realize that there's some big boys in their lineup, and it's a challenging game. You're not going to be perfect all the time, and might be some things you wish you could redo, and a play you might, kind of sit on a different pitch, whatever it might be. But I think it got to the point where it wasn't an acceptable effort. So they probably did what you or I would maybe do. I don't know that I'd do that. try and be as positive as possible, but I think it's pretty realistic. And if anything, maybe in a reverse psychology provides a little extra motivation.
Ramon, right now, a guy that is not used to losing is losing a lot. Giants did win yesterday. They are 16-24 through the opening 40 games of the season.
Yeah, that's bad. Like right now, the only team worse than them is the Colorado Rockies, but here's the issue that they have. They're only one game in front of the Rockies. And the other part, though, too, they got the worst differential in points scored and points allowed of any team in the MLB right now. They're minus 48 in points.
Runs,
yeah, runs allowed, yeah. 16-24 on the season.
Yep.
Not good. That minus 48 in runs is where the issue, I'm sure, from the fan base is coming from. And Tony's already got a bad, I guess, reputation coming into this thing. He don't in general, but he's a college coach coming into the bigs. Like, I would almost guess teams are trying to expose how bad of a mistake this was as far as hiring him in the first year.
So what I think is interesting,
I don't want to call it a mistake.
I don't know if he's got a bad reputation. He just has a reputation. It just kind of is what it is. What I think is challenging for Tony Vitello in San Francisco is the style of ball that his teams played at Tennessee required you to be really talented and at the plate have the best hitters that your league had to offer. What I mean by that is this. They swing early and often in counts, and they're uber aggressive at the plate to not let any opportunity pass them by. And if there is, they feel like the opportunity to get their pitch early in counts, they're going to swing. That is being taken advantage of by pitching staffs and teams that are more talented than the Giants. And that's not to say Tony Vitello is totally blameless within this. I was curious how he would adjust to a different style of this sport being played. I don't think he's adjusted very well. They were one inning away, the Giants, over the weekend from not drawing a walk in 4 straight games.
What?
That is something that has not happened since September 10th through 12th, 1952. They went 130 plate appearances in a row between walks. Not only that, prior to the 9th inning, they had 1 3-ball count in the game on Saturday night when they lost 13-3 to the Pittsburgh Pirates. You are seeing Giants hitters swing really early on the first or second pitch over and over and over again. When you have A, college pitchers that are throwing a lot of strikes and don't have plus stuff, and B, when you've recruited the best hitters in the country in a small ballpark at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, which does play into it a little bit as well, I think you can get away with that a little bit more. When you have a bunch of 5-stars and many other teams aren't as talented as you can swing early and often because you have the talent to take advantage of any mistake the pitcher makes early in counts. I think major league pitchers are smarter than that. And the San Francisco Giants are not a terrible team roster-wise, but I don't think this is even a playoff caliber roster. I mean, they're fine.
Yeah.
I think the Giants are maybe like a 500 team in terms of their potential and probably where they should be. But they're not talented enough to be as aggressive as they are, in my opinion. I'm not going to act like I'm a total expert on the San Francisco Giants. I'm a Braves fan. But at the end of the day, I think that's the thing that Tony Vitello hasn't adjusted to very well. And then you hear him talk, and he just sounds so deflated. Like he sounds like a guy that isn't used to losing like this. It just feels like he is in a Nick Saban arc in terms of baseball. And he was Nick Saban at LSU while he was at Tennessee, got 1 national title, was at the top of the sport, younger coach, earned the pro opportunity. And there's another part of his career. There's another chapter where he's probably going to have to go back to college and he'll win multiple other national championships because he was the best coach in the sport when he left at Tennessee.
Vols fans, don't do it to yourselves. Like, that's the only thing I can think of. He's going to go back. I feel like if this doesn't turn around, the fact that you have his shortstop making decisions for him like that, I've been in that spot.
Not decisions, just communicating for him.
But still,
right.
Having been in a similar situation where the players had to assist the coach in making decisions and, putting players in the right position, you start to talk. And again, here's the thing about it. He's got, probably 100-plus games left to get this right, or almost close to 100 games left to get this right.
122.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to turn it around if they're just not talented enough. The issue is one, he's got a friend that hired him. So how much time will he get on task to get this job?
Yeah.
Buster Posey. But the players allowed.
Question is, how much time does Buster Posey get, too? Because not only did he make the hire, he built the roster. Interesting.
Tough place.
Interesting story to follow. 615-737-1045. We do a vibe check on Tennessee football. State of the Program series begins locally with the Vols. Coming up after this. Hey, it's Will Bowling. Are you dealing with flickering lights, faulty outlets, or a circuit that won't stay on at home? Lee Company has your back. Lee Company's award-winning team of electricians handle it all, from routine repairs and fixture upgrades to whole home generators. Available 24/7, keep your home efficient and safe by contacting Lee Company. You can head online to leecompany.com for professional electrical service and for professional service on a number of fronts. Your HVAC, your plumbing, your electrical systems. If you get that to-do list together and you don't even know where to begin and you end up just making things worse when you try to fix things yourself around the house, just hand the to-do list to Lee Company and they will be able to get things running smoothly the way that they're supposed to. You can contact them online at leecompany.com for professional electrical service. That's Lee Company, all you need. Ramon and Will on 104.5 The Zone, hour number 2, available wherever you download podcasts at 10 a.m. every morning. You can subscribe to Ramon and Will on Apple or Spotify to get every interview and every conversation. And we're going to have 16 different segments just like this one over the course of the next few months called State of the Program. And we start locally with the team most well represented here in Nashville. Of course, we're talking about the Vols. On the state of where things are at. Long-term, short-term, just an overall vibe check on Tennessee Vols football as a whole. So within this, Ramon, we'll give people some personnel, tell you who's gone, who's back, who's on staff, the big changes for the program, which, of course, I think people know more with Tennessee here locally than they do any other program. And just take a look at the overall pressure entering the season. So I want to start there on the big picture perspective. How satisfied are you with the current state of Tennessee Vols football, Ramon Foster?
If I'm just speaking on that side of it, the current state, the absolute health of it.
Of the entire program, yep.
10.
10 out of 10, really?
I will give it a 10. Being where we are right now, from where we've come from, the ability to maintain a level of consistency when it comes down to coaches, expectations, meeting them for the most part. The way you see the coaches be able to make changes when they have to, hyper going on from James Banks, Coach Banks, Tim Banks, moving on from him, elevating yourself, what you think in a situation where Coach Knowles is the defensive coordinator. Recruiting seems to be in line with what everybody else is doing for the most part. Retention was good. Ish for the most part this year.
We lost one starter to the portal.
Lance Hurd. And Jordan Ross wasn't a big role for the team.
He would have been a starter this year, but he wasn't a starter last year.
No doubt. So those are the ones. Losing Ricky Gibson, who didn't play last year anyway. So it's like sight unseen for the most part. I would say the overall health is a 10. That's probably about as positive as I would be with where they are moving forward. Just looking down, I'm proud of where they are right now.
So even the way last year ended, you're at a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, because look what happened last year to have that happen. I consider being able to manage those waters with Nico leaving, having to find Joey Aguilar. We had high moments out of Joey Aguilar and the Tennessee Vols last year. You ended up having a high draft pick this year in the NFL draft as well. Jamar McCoy would have been if it wasn't for the knee, and we couldn't control that side of it. There was a lot of good production, great representation from that team. Yeah, considering the circumstances. And again, I will also add to this. I'm more of an optimist than most.
You are. That's okay.
Weathering that, yeah.
I just don't know how you can get to that point with the way the last 2 games went.
Last 2 games?
Getting beat by 20 by Vandy on your home field. And I know the bowl game is what it is. It's a bowl game and it's an exhibition. But losing to Illinois in the Music City Bowl.
Yeah.
A program you feel like is not in your neighborhood in terms of spending, in terms of resources, in terms of just any of it. I'd probably be about a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
In terms of just overall satisfaction of the program. I like Josh Heupel. I think things could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee has one of the highest floors in the SEC. I think outside of the teams that are living in the championship contender bracket in this conference. And right now, I would say that's 3 teams. Georgia, Alabama, and Texas over the last 5 years that have lived in championship contender status. I know obviously Ole Miss got farther than Alabama did last year. Alabama is declining, and of course they are. That's not an insult. That's just you lost the greatest coach the sport's ever seen.
Right.
But I think outside of those few, scheme allows Tennessee to have a higher floor than the likes of Auburn, who we've seen miss out on multiple bowl games. The likes of a Mississippi State, a Kentucky, a South Carolina, a kind of team within that bracket of the SEC right now. But I do have doubts about this program's ceiling being where a lot of this fan base expects it to be.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really interesting year heading into 2026. Josh Heupel has brought Tennessee out of a really bad place And he will always get credit for that. And I'm not going to take any of that away from him. This program has taken a lot of steps, Ramon, this offseason to try to take the next leap into the championship contender tier. The problem with that is they didn't take all the steps necessary to do that in 2026 because Sam Leavitt is an LSU Tiger and not a Tennessee Vol. And that's the other team that is trying, again, to take the kind of same step. I would put LSU, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, kind of in that tier of teams that's trying to step up into the Georgia-Texas world. And again, I know Texas hasn't made a championship game or won a championship, but they're certainly living in that neighborhood. They're going to be maybe the preseason number one team in the country this year. There are still concerns for me about some of the road games of this conference, and Tennessee just no showing on any given Saturday away from Neyland Stadium. There are still concerns for me on Josh Heupel's ability to recruit at the highest level. He's recruited well. He's not recruited elite level to contend for championships in the SEC. But ultimately, what is Tennessee football? Through its history, Tennessee football has been a team that is always good and sometimes great. And for what Vols football has been as a program over the last 20 years, the best part of those 20 years has been under Josh Heupel. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm satisfied. But I do think that a 7-win or less season this year ups the pressure quite a bit on Josh Heupel and this coaching staff.
So
where am I right? Where am I wrong?
No, you're 100% right on them. You're 7 out of 10 is solid. So the overall health of being able to manage it, to me, being able to stay in the mix, like I said, I rated that one higher. Now, where we both, I think, agree is that second tier part that you were speaking of, that second level part that you were speaking of. Now, when we start talking about Coach Heupel, the wins and losses, like I separate that differently than the overall health of the program. Being able to function, being able to compete in the NIL, the portal era, the high school recruiting era, the Vols are in the mix there. Closing out on it, that's where I have an issue in. Competitiveness, week in and weekend out, I have issues with it as well. Winning big-time games, that's where I drop down dramatically. As far as if we're putting it on a scale of 1 to 10, being able to sustain against your Bamas, like you said, losing to Illinois and Vanderbilt the way you did, just the overall look in which you had to go out and change the strength and conditioning. Coach, I commend you for it, but why were we there in that situation? Looking at this upcoming schedule, that is I know every SEC team is dealing with this 9-team schedule that we're dealing with as well. I would ask almost any Vols fan, or heck, any SEC fan in general, go take a look at your schedule real quick. I just read off the stretch in which the Vols are going to have, I think, like 7 or 8 in a row SEC teams. And each one of those teams this year causes me great anxiety. I'll be completely honest with you.
And that's the case for everyone. That's why coaches want the playoff expanded to 24 teams.
That confidence is probably about a 4 out of 10 because I don't know what you're going to get on the field.
Yeah.
The resources that the Vols have, the expansions that they have, the amount of money that they are willing to go spend, whether they can't close out on Sam Leavitt or Brendan Sorsby, wherever the case may be, that to me is a different conversation. They got the money to go do it. The closeout is fascinating. I know we're not doing a seat check just yet as far as Heupel goes. We'll probably do that in the next segment.
Yep.
But this is going to cause some Vols fans, depending on the field product, to get loud. And that's why I say moving forward in this 2026 season, I'm probably about a 4 out of 10 in overall confidence in getting it done, because when it has come down to executing the opposing team, we've lacked other than 2022.
So what we'll do every time we do State of the Program is we will give you the last 3 years rankings of recruiting classes. We will give you the players that are gone, the players that are coming back for this season, and we'll give you a seat heat rating for how hot a coach's seat is. Not saying that a coach is on the hot seat, just saying sometimes it's going to be a 1 out of 10, sometimes it'll be a 9 out of 10. I think Josh Heupel is going to be very far from a 1 or a 9. Obviously, players that are gone, Joey Aguilar, Chris Brazzell, the 2 big names on offense. Other than that, you're kind of bringing everybody back on offense, other than those two and Lance Hurd. You bring 4 of your 5 starters back on the offensive line. You bring 2 really good receivers back, and Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley. You're running back Deshaun Bishop. You were able to retain. The question is, who's at quarterback? Is it George McIntyre, who has 69 career passing yards in 1 season? Or is it the true freshman Faison Brandon? On defense, you lose Jermod McCoy, who you kind of lost going into last year as well.
For sure.
Andre Turrentine, Jalen McMurray, Colton Hood, Dominic Bailey, Joshua Josephs. You also lose Ricky Gibson. You mentioned to Texas A&M earlier. And you bring in Amari Campbell, Chaz Coleman, Xavier Gillum, DeJuan Lane, all from Penn State. Quay Moss will play nickel. Kagan Lee, a corner from Auburn. Jordan Norman is going to be a really impactful edge rusher. TJ Metcalf is someone that we've heard good things about at the safety position from Michigan as well. Tennessee was 14th in the SEC in scoring defense last year and total defense. And Jim Knowles has coordinated 4 top 15 defenses in the last 6 seasons. Tennessee lost 1 starter to the transfer portal. That was Lance Hurd, who is now the left tackle at Kentucky.
Yeah.
As far as retention went, things could have gone a lot worse for Tennessee. And a lot of the guys they lost on defense, I'm not sure they wanted to keep, to be quite honest with you.
I agree with you there.
And with the exception of maybe some of the veteran defensive backs who were gone, I think the Tennessee defense is going to be pretty good.
You do.
I think the offense is always going to be at least fine. What's the biggest thing that you know, Ramon, about Tennessee football? What is the thing you're most confident about in the way this team will look in 2026?
The O-line and linebacker group should be leading the charge.
I am identical with you on that, in those two. Yep.
Okay. Those 2 units right there, whether it be because the linebackers got so many bodies that they can rotate them in, and if you're slacking, they got a replacement for you. The offensive line returning 4 of the 5, and also Ori Williams at right tackle should satisfy a lot. Or you go with Jesse Perry as well at right tackle, whatever the case may be. But that unit should be strong. And to be honest with you, both of them are going to have to be. You're going to have young freshmen or redshirt freshmen starting at quarterback on offense. And that, to me, I think is the bigger issue as this team is dealing with. Or you have a linebacker group that you hopefully can either fill the holes or make plays even in the secondary if you need them to, as well, as far as covering the athletes that the SEC has right now. The biggest issue for this team, to me, is the uncertainty of quarterback and defensive line, interior defensive line.
I think just front 4, you could say, because at edge rusher, I'm not sure they can get after the quarterback.
Yeah, for real.
That's my biggest question about the defense is, can you consistently put pressure on opposing quarterbacks to help out Ty Redmond and Kayan Lee and your group of corners? The last 3 years of recruiting, according to On3 and Rivals, Tennessee in high school recruiting ranked 9th in 2026, 11th in the country in 2025, 13th in 2024. They're getting a little bit better every year. They're winning some big battles against some big guys. For me, they're not doing that enough in the transfer portal. Tennessee's last 3 transfer portal classes, which On3 also factors in who's leaving, not just who you're adding, have ranked 26th, 31st, and 37th in college football. I think transfer rankings are really hard to do because fit really matters.
True.
And
Colton Hood.
Are you right? Like,
like
Jermod McCoy
mattered.
and Colton Hood were not incredibly high-rated transfers. They ended up being all SEC level transfers. So I put less stock in that than I do the high school stuff. But I still think the point stands that Tennessee has not done well enough in the transfer portal as a football staff than what they need to in order to be a championship level program.
I think it's twofold on the transfer portal side of it. Was the Tim Banks component of it, of defensively not knowing what you're going to get. Players talking. I heard a lot of stuff last year as well, and just even before last year, about how that defense was ran in the scheme it was. I think Jim Knowles helped with his, history of being able to be a bona fide play caller, facilitator of good defenses. That helps you, number one. I think Coach Rodney Garner does as well, even though he's a hard coach to play for. The other part that needs to happen is offensively. I'm not sure if you saw Chris Brazzell speak this past weekend at the Carolina Panthers minicamp that they had going on as well. He praised or spoke highly about all the routes that he had run in their training camp with the Panthers. He said, I did those in Tennessee. The offense has to have a soundboard in the NFL that allows Coach Heupel to close out on some of these players in the transfer portal to say, I can go to Tennessee and get a one-year deal with them and go high in the draft, or make it attractive enough to where the amount of players that you get from the high school levels bring those guys up. Because I'm looking at Miami and saying Miami closes out on these types of things.
Right. I don't think receiver is the best example for me because Kelsey Pope's recruited good enough high school receivers and they've kept them that you haven't really needed to go get a major big money transfer wide receiver.
I was speaking globally for the offense.
Yeah, I just think wide receiver is a little bit different. I think they're looking for a type, and I think Kelsey Pope's the best recruiter they may have on staff, to where I'm kind of good with what they've done there, and I think largely at quarterback. I'm speaking more about offensive line, where you've got to really pay to go get big money transfers, especially at tackle. And Tennessee, as far as the money goes and the rankings, if you believe in all that stuff, downgraded, going from Lance Hurd to Ori Williams. I mean, the guy's got to be willing to play right tackle, and that was part of the reason why Lance Hurd moved on. But to me, those rankings, and again, they're just rankings, but 26th, 31st, and 37th isn't cutting it for overall transfer portal recruiting. They have a type, and again, receiver is kind of one of those where you can do more with less. I just think on offense in general, you can do more with less. But at the end of the day, Tennessee hasn't won enough of these big battles against big programs in order to step up into their neighborhood and be able to compete consistently with Georgia and Ohio State, the two teams that just kind of showed you when you were on the same field with them a couple of times now. And I know they were a missed kick away from beating Georgia, but for some of Tennessee's best teams under Josh Heupel, they haven't looked like they even really belong on the field on the road against teams like that. And in order to take that next step as a program, you're going to have to win some of those.
I wonder how much would that have dealt with strength and conditioning and just mindset.
Some of it. I mean, I think we're about to find out. They got the highest paid strength coach in the country now. That's one way to make up the gap in just getting raw talent. Go develop talent.
Yeah.
Coming up, we'll spend more time on this and open for your thoughts, 615-737-1045. What makes this a successful season for Tennessee and Josh Heupel in 2026, and how hot is his seat? No one's putting Josh Heupel on the hot seat. We're going to do this for all 16 coaches, all 16 teams in the SEC. But how comfortable are things for Josh Heupel in Knoxville? You can send us your thoughts, 615-737-1045, and we'll give you ours next. If you're moving in Middle Tennessee, you need a local agent with years of experience, not that big national agent that doesn't know you, the area, or your goals. For Ben and his family, the decision to buy and sell at the same time could have felt overwhelming. But from the very first conversation with Bernie Gallerani Real Estate, they knew that they were in good hands. Every question was answered with care, including the ones that weren't quite sure how to ask. And never once did they feel like any concern was too small to share. Throughout the entire process, Ben and his family felt truly represented with a team that advocated for their best interests at every turn. That's the kind of care you get when you trust Bernie Gallerani Real Estate. Because when the right team is in your corner, every step of the process feels exactly the way it should. Let Bernie take the stress out of the buying and selling process for real estate. Get his 30-day guaranteed sale program working for you. Bernie Gallerani guarantees to sell your home in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it. Check him out online at BernieGallerani.com or call him at 615-428-2644. Bernie Gallerani Real Estate online at BernieGallerani.com. Wrapping up the first half of the show on this Monday morning, Ramon and Will. At Ramon Foster, at Will_bowling, and at Ramon and Will, where you can follow the show on Twitter. Ramon, I would say the state of Tennessee football is healthy, but at risk.
Yeah.
When your doctor tells you, like, you're in good shape now, but we're going to monitor some things. We're going to monitor the heart. We're going to strap on a thing to just kind of make sure that your heart's still functioning the way it's supposed to. We're going to give you some preventative medication. BVS isn't flaring up right now, but we are at risk.
Yeah, it's like being pre-diabetic.
Yeah.
If you don't change.
We're pre-battered Vols syndrome.
Yeah, we're pre-battered Vols syndrome is what we are.
What is it going to take for this to be a successful season for 2026 Tennessee football?
I'll be real with you. Beat the bigs. What would settle Vols fans if we're just strictly going there?
What would settle you?
Me?
Speaking just for yourself.
Just for myself.
What is a successful season for Tennessee football?
This year, 9 wins minimum. Successful. Considering the schedule. That means you got to get Texas. I think getting Auburn, Bama, A&M, LSU. If you can get, how many was that? 1, 2,
at A&M?
3, 4, 5.
That's one of my losses.
If you can get 4 of those 5, A&M is one of your losses, and that's my problem.
It's a good team.
That's the
and
problem.
It's a tough
right
place
there.
to play. I mean, Tennessee just doesn't. Under Josh Heupel, they haven't won a lot of road games like that,
and that's the problem.
It is.
If you can get 4,
that's
of those
how you got to
5s,
take the next step.
Yes, and of those 5, Texas goes to Knoxville. Auburn's at home. Going to Arkansas can be dicey as well. And you got to go to A&M. Like, the good part is you're seeing many of these, the 4 of these 5, in Knoxville. Like, that's the cool part about it. And the hangover of that fan base getting riled up, getting oiled up for letdown is something I don't think Vols fans are setting up to, because I don't know. I hadn't been fans of any other SEC team. I don't know if there's any other emotional fan base like the Vols are.
Oh, no, there are plenty. LSU is the first one that comes to mind.
But
I mean, they're already mad at their coach for just doing a photo shoot, and he's not even coached.
Rightfully so.
Texas, I mean, like, it's the SEC. We're not totally unique. We're a little different. Like, I think we are among the craziest. We're among the most emotional. We're among the most active online, but we're not totally alone. No.
We've just been super close to a lot of good things and not actually cashed in.
Honestly, I think a lot of teams and fan bases would still trade with the amount of success that Tennessee has had. I think most every fan base, other than Bama fans during the Saban era and Georgia fans during the Kirby Smart era, would say, yeah, we've been close, but not quite there.
But that's cool. But the issue in the conversation we're having is, how do we go to the elite part of that, though?
And we're not the only ones having it. That's my only point.
The Vols fans, and probably you and me both, are tired of just being in that space.
I think it would be foolish for anyone to put Josh Heupel on a very hot seat after the 2026 season. Scale of 1 to 10, what's the seat warmer at for Josh Heupel at the moment?
Going into 2026?
Yep.
I think he's probably at a 4.
I'd say a 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say a 3. Now, to that point, I think an 8-4 season is the expectation, which, to your point, I totally agree with you. I think 9-3 is a successful season this year. Mm-hmm. 9-3, if you beat the right 9, could put you in the college football playoff.
This year.
Yeah, I think we are certainly living in a world in a 9-game SEC schedule where 9 wins is going to put you right there for SEC programs. That being said, under 8 wins, I think 7 is a disappointment.
Yeah.
I think a 6-win season is very much on the table. I think 5 is on the table. I mean, we don't know what we're getting at quarterback.
We don't.
I tend to believe that Josh Heupel will always at least have decent quarterback play, because this system, and I know it's changed, but this system still at its core is going to maximize and squeeze every drop out of the sponge of what you have put at the quarterback position. And I think the defense is going to be pretty dang good, to be quite honest with you. I don't think they're very deep. I think if they stay healthy, I think the defense could be pretty good. Again, enter new strength coach, who's the highest paid strength coach in the country. They should be, at least you'd think, healthier and able to withstand the wear and tear better during the season. At least that's the goal. But I think things are good right now for Tennessee football. Yes, they could be better. I think we would be foolish to make any hasty decisions because Josh Heupel has shown us the floor of Tennessee football is higher than 80% of SEC teams.
Yep.
The floor is pretty dang high based on the scheme and the X's and O's ability of this coaching staff to get everything out of the talent that they put on the roster. Mm-hmm. Now my question is, how do you put better talent on the roster? That's the next step. Because I don't think we can make excuses to say, oh, well, but it's a young quarterback. No, but you chose to go with that young quarterback. You could have brought in Bo Perbula. You had him on campus. You let him go. He's at Virginia now. Mm-hmm. You chose to go with one of the two young guys. That's fine. I'm okay with you making that decision. But then I also, on the back end, I'm not going to make this decision to pardon you for it if quarterback isn't good this year and you only win 7 games.
This is true.
Because they decided as a staff to do that after they couldn't close with Sam Levitt or Brendan Sorsby, who, thank goodness, that didn't happen.
I feel like this is such a longer conversation.
Yeah, well, we did just spend 40 minutes on it.
Yeah, I know. What percentage of the fan base of 100% is waiting for the shoe to drop on Heupel?
Oh, I mean,
not that
if
he's
you
in
just
any
looked
trouble.
online, more like 3/4 of it.
3/4.
I mean, if you looked at just in general, and people aren't on Twitter, I don't know, 30, 40%.
Yeah.
I have no way to know though.
The issue in recruiting, though, even though there's they've cashed in on a lot of 4 stars, high 4 stars too, is unless you believe in the method that teams have talked about, you're only getting 1 5-star night. That is a luxury in itself. Tristan Keys, David Sanders Jr., or other teams like Ohio State, Texas, LSU are getting 2 or 3 of those 5 stars.
Yeah, I think with the resources Tennessee has, they've done well enough in high school recruiting. It's the transfer recruiting to me that's got to be better. I think they got to find more impactful transfers and they got to retain the right guys. I think they took a good step in that direction in terms of retainment this year. To me, they're just not winning enough big battles for transfers. And Sam Levitt's a great example of it. Coming up, NFL headlines. One reason for optimism for every team via CBS Sports. I'll tell you why they say Titans fans should have optimism entering this year. And we got the first Sunday night football game as the NFL schedule release slow burn begins. So we'll talk about that coming up next.
If you're looking for TRT that's flexible enough for your lifestyle, head to Low T Center. They're the #1 name in TRT. Choose testosterone shots, pills, or many other options they have. You can also choose to pay with your insurance or out of pocket, or even have your treatment shipped directly to your door so you can self-inject and medicate as well. And now Low T Center is offering new peptides, new treatments, and so much more where you can boost your energy, libido, and confidence for results that you can feel. Synergex and Low T Center provide testosterone replacement therapy and hormone replacement therapy tailored to your body, your lifestyle, and your budget. When hormones are imbalanced, good people, patients feel fatigued, they have a low drive, mood changes and body changes as well. Balancing your hormones means living a better, healthier life. And also, testosterone is not just for men. Testosterone is important for women as well. It can help boost your energy, confidence, and drive, and so much more. And no, it will not turn you into a man. Doses for women are very careful, so they meet your goals and your requirements as well. To book your free testosterone test now, head over to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%, and most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, it's Will Bowling. Here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you could easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit cards, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. And here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long, drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage, Rates are at near 3-year lows, so act now. Go to loanpronto.com, see how much you can get in about 60 seconds. That's Loan Pronto 2800. 5-star Google reviews. Call 615-499-5780 or visit loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780 or online at loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender at MLS 1661781 and MLSconsumeraccess.org.
.804, good morning, live from the Circus Sports, the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. NFL news this morning. The first Sunday night game of the NFL season is set. September 13th, we'll see the Giants host the Cowboys at MetLife Stadium Week 1. The full schedule release is coming up this Thursday on May 14th. Round 2 of the NBA playoffs on Sunday. The New York Knicks headed to the Eastern Conference Finals after winning 144-114 over the Philadelphia 76ers and completing the 4-0 series sweep. And the nightcap, the Minnesota Timberwolves take down the San Antonio Spurs 114-109, tying their series up at 2 games apiece. Anthony Edwards scored 36 points for the T-Wolves. And in the NHL playoffs, the Canadiens have a 2-1 series lead over the Buffalo Sabres after a blowout 6-2 win on Sunday. Then the Ducks tied their series up at 2 games apiece with a 4-3 win over the Vegas Golden Knights. Saturday night at Geodis Park, Nashville Soccer Club trailed DC United 2-0 through the first 75 minutes of play, but then Warren Madrigal scored a brace with goals Vols in the 76th and 89th minute to help Nashville to a 2-2 draw, earning a point on the night. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show, hour 3, getting started on this Monday morning. Ramon and Will, glad you're with us. Hope you're having a good start to your work week, to your morning. And it was a good Mother's Day weekend. Justin Mello will join us coming up in 15 minutes. We'll talk about the Titans draft class, some of the day 3 prospects that he has known very well through the entire process. And the names to know as far as UDFAs are concerned. There are a couple of undrafted free agents the Titans added who people smarter than me thought, Ramon, might not have gone undrafted before the NFL draft happened. So we'll dive into that with Justin Mello, who is as smart and as detailed about prospects and the NFL draft as anybody that we have on.
No doubt about it. It should be a good conversation, man. Now is where it starts to get a little bit real. Players on the field, content that's got to be dropped from time to time as well. I saw a portion of Titans Twitter a little upset they hadn't seen a whole lot of Carnell tape. So we really in it now, Will. We got scheduled release dates and so much. Yeah. I don't know whose it was, but they were complaining about not the visibility of Carnell Tate at practice. Somebody tweeted out, we've seen every rookie except for Carnell Tate or something. And somebody backed up was like, we also didn't get a lot of coverage of Cam from the team as well.
What? I don't think either of those things are true.
I read it. I saw it. And I was just like, okay. Yeah, it was people want more Carnell content on the field is what I got.
Well, he hasn't been on the field yet. It's hard
there
to,
it is.
I mean, that not for public consumption, I guess.
They want more.
Nick Suss did do a data dump last week on May 6th where he said, here is the leaderboard of how many times the Titans have posted practice pictures / videos of their veterans on this app since players reported in April. Cam Ward 18 times, Wanda Robinson 14, Calvin Ridley 14, Alante Taylor 12, Elikiah Manor 11.
Wow.
Hashtag analytics.
We're really doing a number count.
I put the
face
hashtag
value.
analytics in there.
That's all good. No, I appreciate that, though. But
Nate Bain did respond and say, where are you getting these numbers from? Few are accurate. So, I don't know. Just one person's just quick cursory look. But,
Nate,
I don't know. I try not to get worked up about much of anything as far as football's concerned in the month of May. It kind of is what it is.
Yeah, it is, but it's also fun, too. Like this time of the year, I'll be real with you, it is.
Is it fun complaining about not seeing enough of things on social media, allegedly?
It is,
crazy
which is why Roger Goodell and NFL and NFLPA know, like, as much as they want to push content out, everybody's going to take it in. That means more impressions, more dollars, and more of everything. I do like this time of year. It's real without being too serious, though. Because this magical catch that wide receiver A is going to catch gives a lot of fans hope. And hope is what we live on when we deal with sports, man.
Brian Diardo of CBS Sports gives one reason for optimism for every team after rookie minicamp. Says for the Titans, experienced leadership is the team's number one reason for optimism. Says Tennessee's rebuild is being led by a second-year GM Mike Berganzi and new coach Robert Saleh. Prior to arriving in Nashville, Berganzi won 3 Super Bowls while serving in the Chiefs front office. Saleh has 21 years of NFL experience, including 2 successful tenures as the 49ers DC. And the coaching staff includes Brian Daboll, who led the Giants to their only playoff win since their last Super Bowl, who also had a successful run in Buffalo. He will look to have similar success with quarterback Cam Ward. They don't even mention Gus Bradley, who's also been a head coach, also Bones Fossil, and experience. Is that a right way to look at the Titans' biggest reason for optimism this year?
Yeah, if you've been where the Titans have been as of late, I think when you look at the back end of Vrabel's ability to keep this team together and win games, when you look at, how Callahan's situation has been, the noise that has kind of come out around whoever's been hired here, I feel like with this group, you can at least say this group with Salah and Daboll and everybody else included, has dealt with a lot of highs, some lows, and coming into this new, fresh situation. So I will put it to this part, the players a little bit of belief that, hey, this method's going to be a little bit better and different, especially if you were a 2025 Tennessee Titan. Like, players want to be coached. They want to be told what to do and how to do it as well. And that's what you get with the experience of this group. The other part is putting it together. If you can put it together and you got the right amount of talent, you can go get it. I personally didn't think this at the time. I didn't think the New England Patriots were a very talented team in their Super Bowl run era. I know Tom Brady is a mastermind, is a GOAT, as we had our GOAT draft last week. He's a GOAT when it comes down to it, but when you look at Tom Brady's talent level compared to every other quarterback in the league, it wasn't the highest. What you got out of them is coaches that gave them a belief in a system and discipline that I think took them over the top to make them a franchise, make their franchise a dynasty. That, to me, is the difference. Like, there are some lower talented teams, and you got some higher talented teams. I'm going to be all the way serious here. I'm not crapping on the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns have some of the highest collection of talent of almost any team around. You ask yourself, what's the difference?
It's not a quarterback.
I mean, but
Yeah,
even
that's the difference
still,
to me.
But even still with the quarterback, find coaches that can hide the deficiencies of that quarterback as well. That, to me, is leadership. That's experience. That's where the payoff lends itself from time to time, right? Like, that's the difference.
Yeah, I mean, to me, for the current state of the Cleveland Browns, they made one of the worst trades in NFL history, and they're still paying for it.
No doubt. I'm here for that. But, the same way I would put it in this context then, if that doesn't work, the same way that John Harbaugh was brought over to the Chargers to kind of curate whatever is going on with Justin Herbert. Or you find a team in which you can go say, he's good enough in the Seattle Seahawks with Sam Darnold. And you know what you do? You surround him. You coach up one side of the ball that protects him from hurting himself and the team as well.
Sure.
Or how Kyle Shanahan's gotten the most out of Brock Purdy. That's good leadership, good coaching, good discipline.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say on the other side of it, though, Kevin Stefanski got the most out of Joe Flacco. He got the most out of a couple of teams in Cleveland and did such a good job that he immediately got hired right after being fired. I don't know if coaching and development was really the problem in Cleveland. They gave away a ton of draft picks and made one of the worst trades in NFL history for a quarterback that's given them nothing and cost them a ton of money.
Well, I would also
Deshaun Watson.
I would give credit to Flacco and Stefanski in that situation. And they also got Myles Garrett over there that can be a wrecker as well.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, everyone's talented.
Yeah.
What are you doing with it?
Some teams are best, and that's all you're going to get.
Sure.
The ones that have a system, Sirianni, one of those guys, Belichick before the fall happened, Mike Tomlin, those guys have the abilities to create a culture and a system in which everybody buys into. That's usually the biggest point, the buy-in. And I think when you talk about leadership for the Titans right now, that's where our guys will run to, is the buy-in to say, we know they're in the same foxhole as us. I don't know if you could say that about Cali.
I would say the biggest reason for optimism is everyone doing their current jobs has done the job in their specific role before. Yeah. That was not the case last time. Last time you hired a coach, you had a first-time head coach, first-time offensive coordinator, first-time defensive coordinator, first-time special teams coordinator with a second-year general manager. Now you have a still second-year general manager, but someone with a wealth of experience at a winning organization, with someone who's been a head coach before, someone who's been an offensive coordinator before, someone who's been a defensive coordinator before, and someone who's been a successful special teams coordinator before. You are trying to raise the floor and be just overall more consistent and set the table for what you hope is contention when you open a new building.
Yeah.
That's your reason for optimism.
Yeah.
I'd say the other reason for your optimism is some of the best moments on film for Cam Ward are pretty dang awesome. I know he's got some bad ones too, but the flashes that Cam Ward has shown you are exciting.
It warrants a buy-in.
Can we turn lightning flashes into storms? Right now we got heat lightning. Got little pop-ups of, ooh, that was nice. Oh, wow. Oh, is it going to rain? Oh, no. That? Okay, we still lost.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a fumble. He just gave it away again. No, that's okay, though, but he made some good throws. Can we get a downpour of a couple weeks, a month of just solid quarterback play? Can we turn these flashes into more consistency? Because then I'm going to start being really optimistic about the way this franchise is trending.
But I would say, even when you mention those issues that Cam would have, like the fumbles in the pocket and stuff right there, what you do trust is this. You have a coach in Daboll and the staff that can challenge him and make him pay attention to ball security and stuff like that without it being a pushback.
I hope so. Yep. Absolutely. Cowboys are going to host No, they're not. The Giants are going to host the Cowboys. MetLife Stadium for the first Sunday night football game of the year, September 13th.
Yeah.
MetLife Stadium will host Sunday night football.
No doubt.
The schedule release Thursday. So we'll have our normal win, loss, win. No, we won't. I'm kidding.
Primetime games.
Justin Mello joins us. Talk about the Titans draft after this.
It's National Police Week this week, and to celebrate, our friends at Two Rivers Ford is hosting a free family meet and greet with the Mount Juliet Police Department this Saturday, May 16th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. as well. Good people, what I'm telling you is this is your opportunity to meet the people that patrol your neighborhood so you can get a real good opportunity to put your face in front of them and get to know them. Bring the kids and come and meet the dedicated police officer at the Mount Juliet Police Department. You can explore inside of the police car, get to know the tools of the trade, engage with first responders. Also, get some Chick-fil-A biscuits and register for door prizes and so much more. And while you're there, you can check out the incredible employee pricing deals that Two Rivers Ford has going on right now. Blue and You. It is this Saturday from 9 to 11 at Two Rivers Ford. If you don't know the address, it's 76 Belinda Parkway in Mount Juliet. When you show up, make sure that you tell them that Ramon told me to come over here.
Ramon Will, hour number 3 rolls on. He's Ramon Foster. I am Will Bowling. Talking Titans this morning, breaking down some of the names to know not only in the later part of the draft class, but also in the 11-man undrafted free agent class. Joining us now to do exactly that, our good friend Justin Mello of NFL Draft on SI at JustinM_NFL. Justin, what's going on? Good morning.
Good morning, Josh.
Good morning. Good morning, Will, Ramon. Appreciate you gentlemen for having me. We're a couple weeks removed from the NFL draft, so it's been a good time to kind of go through this class with a fine-tooth comb and just sort of analyze where the Titans are at today on May 11th.
Justin, if you were looking at this class as a whole, where do you think the team found the best value in their 2026 draft class?
Well, I would say just getting better at positions that they needed to improve at, right? Like, Anthony Hill trading up to number 60 overall for that linebacker. I think it's really going to help transform Robert Saleh's defense. I think that's the type of guy that they were sort of looking for across the front seven to complete the offseason makeover, if you will. And then getting some of those interior linemen on day 3, specifically, I'd say the center, Pat Coogan, was probably the best value pick they made in the entire class. Certainly looking forward to, seeing how he's going to be able to compete for a role at training camp this summer.
And Justin, we've spoken a lot about that, and Ramon kind of feels like Fernando Carmona really has a chance to contribute early. Coogan's another guy that as the season goes, will have a chance to get on the field. For you, how do you feel about the Fernando Carmona pick? What was kind of your initial reaction seeing that, and how impactful could he be early in the season for the Titans in that right guard competition?
Well, I knew they had a bunch of, day 3 interior linemen in for whether it was pre-draft visits or, Zoom meetings. So you knew they were going to be targeting a couple of those guys in this portion of the draft. Things to like about Fernando Carmona. Toughness, athleticism, experience. I think one underrated, aspect for him going into camp is we see so many of these college tackles make the transition to the interior at the NFL level, right? Because whether it's a lack of size or, there's physical deficiencies, whatever it may be, I think it's big for Fernando Carmona and maybe a bit underrated that he made that transition this past year. Right? Like he kind of began his college career at offensive tackle, and then he went and played guard this past year. So I'd like to think he's ahead of the curve, right, when it comes to making a transition to a position that he was ultimately always going to have to transition to, sort of due to a lack of length, desirable length to kind of stay at tackle. So when Mike Borgonzi had his, pre-draft press conference, I don't want to say he tipped his hand, but when he talked about what he was looking for in interior linemen, he talked about, finding them on day 3, which he took 2 of them here, and he, obviously didn't take one earlier than that. And he also talked about, toughness, leadership, experience. And I think both these picks, Carmona and Coogan, kind of exuberate that, if you will. And, for him to get into the mix at right guard, it'll be interesting. They've got Jackson Slater, who it sounded like, based on what Borgonzi said post-draft, that's where they envision him working, this offseason. TBD, in my opinion, once we get to camp, we'll see where Jackson Slater fits in. They bring in a guy, Cordell Volson, in free agency, who has started a ton of NFL games throughout his career. Mind you, to, mixed results, but that experience probably gives him a leg up on a prospect like Carmona. So be interesting to see how quickly Carmona can actually get into that mix at right guard.
We're talking about Justin Mello, SI.com this morning, talking Titans and post-draft. Justin, when you look at when I read your article on SI.com about the best values from rounds 2 through 7. With that being said, there was a lot of value in this draft. Is that a product, the way you look at it, of the transfer portal, or just the overall just age and length that guys are available to be in college right now? Because there's a lot of good dudes that you dropped in this article.
Yeah, I do think that plays a huge role. The COVID year eligibility, the transfer portal, NIL money, a ton of guys are just staying in college longer than they have in the past, right? I sat down with about 150 draft picks this year for my interview series, and I was astounded by, as I was preparing for each interview, I was astounded by how many guys I would go into that conversation with, and as soon as I start doing my early research or whatever, and I go, okay, he's a fifth-year senior. Okay, he played at 4 different programs. Like, those things that kind of weren't the norm a couple of years ago are becoming a lot more normal, right, in today's college football landscape. So I think all of those factors you mentioned play a contributing role, right? The NIL, the COVID year eligibility. And then, when you look at this draft, this past one, and we talked a lot about a lack of high-end value. There weren't a lot of premium talents at premium positions. But I certainly felt as you got to the later portions, the 3rd, 4th, 5th round of the draft, you started to see, that value kind of really kick into high gear.
No doubt. It's interesting you had those conversations, and you look at the Titans' first 3 picks. All of them juniors, all of them teetering about 20 to 21 years old. Is this still a league that believes in getting young talent and developing them, and did the Titans show us that as well?
I do believe so, and I think that matters a lot to Mike Borgonzi. I mean, clearly we saw that theme emerge throughout this draft class. I mean, you look at their free agency class, one that really kind of struck me as how much that matters still in the NFL and the way GMs use it to find value. They signed Cordell Flott, right, in free agency, 3-year, $45 million contract, going to come in and start for them at cornerback. He played 4 years, right? His entire rookie contract, he played out for the New York Giants. He's 24. The Titans signed a 24-year-old free agent corner. We got guys who just got drafted who are 25. So I do think when you get drafted at 20, 21 years old, it makes a huge difference on that second contract. Number one, not only are you more inclined, to sign a lucrative second deal, but you're also, I think, typically speaking, more inclined to get that second contract with the team that originally drafted you. So I think for, guys like Carnell Tate, Anthony Hill, not only are they going to get, instant playmakers, instant starters at, important positions of value and need, I think when they're 24, 25, if all works out the way we think it will, Mike Borgonzi goes into those negotiations comfortable saying that these guys are at an age where we're confident that we're still, not only do we get terrific value on the rookie deal, but we're going to sign them the second contract and we're going to sleep well while doing it.
That's super hilarious, though, because you look at college coaches, they want the older, mature guys. I just laugh at the idea. That's fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you'd like to think Borgonzi found some unicorns in this class, right? Because you look at those guys specifically, like Carnell Tate and Anthony Hill. Again, not only was it an older draft class, yet they found younger juniors, kind of worth taking in those specific slots. But people also rave about their maturity and leadership, right? Like, it's not like these are young, immature kids, if you will. So I think the Titans are really excited, over the moon with those 2 picks specifically.
Justin Mello, NFL Draft on SI, our guest this morning on Ramon and Will. When you look at the UDFA class overall, Justin, and you do such a great job knowing this entire class and talking with so many of these guys as well who are priority undrafted free agents, is there a name or two who stands out to you who you feel like has the best chance of making this roster when it's all said and done?
Yeah, there are a couple. I know a lot of attention right now is on that wide receiver out of John Carroll, right? Tyron Montgomery, because he, such a heartwarming pre-draft story, so easy to root for. He's so exciting. But I also think the reality is that Titans wide receiver room is pretty good, right? Like, it's in better shape than it's been in quite some time. So when I look at guys who could actually make this 53, I think you've got to start with, areas on the roster that would benefit, right, from some upgrades, specifically on the back end. First name that pops to me is, USC safety Bishop Fitzgerald. This guy had 10 career college interceptions, 5 this past year for USC. Bit of a ball hawk, right? And I think you can earn that reputation when you make 10 picks in 3 years. And I look at what the Titans have at safety. Starters, presumably Amani Hooker and Kevin Winston Jr., okay, both kind of injury prone throughout their careers so far, can certainly use some back-end depth at that spot. Although they didn't do a whole lot, right? Like, they cut Xavier Woods, who started for them a year ago. They signed Tony Adams, who, some familiarity with Robert Saleh there, coached them in New York. Bit of an overachiever, based on his draft status, but also, in reality, kind of a replacement-level player. He's their number 3 safety going into camp. So I look at that room, they lost Mike Brown as well, who I thought was a high upside number 4/special teams ace. They need some back-end depth to emerge there, and I think that gives Bishop Fitzgerald a really good chance heading into camp. I also look at the swing tackle spot, the swing offensive tackle position. They don't retain Ali Udo, who I thought played fairly well in that role a year ago. They've got a second-year UDFA, right, in Brendan Crenshaw-Dixon, who they were high on. He might be the early favorite, to kind of back up Dan Moore and J.C. Latham. But I think Mike Borgonzi knew, and the scouting staff knew, that they're kind of weak at that spot. So they go out and get two, fairly prominent UDFA offensive tackles, in Emil Wagner out of Notre Dame and Rashid Miller out of Louisville. I thought both of those guys were draftable talents, specifically Wagner out of Notre Dame, who, again, kind of fits the theme of the linemen they targeted in this draft: toughness, physicality, maturity, leadership. And then Miller, when you turn the tape on the Louisville kid, Ramon, I imagine you've done this, but you watch that Miami-Louisville game, he played pretty well against Reuben Bain Jr., right? That's sort of the resume game for Rashid Miller, and I was kind of stunned he went undrafted. So I look at Fitzgerald, the USC safety, and both of those UDFA tackles. I think they go into camp with a really good chance of making the roster, partially due to their own talents, but also partially due to how the roster is shaping up at those specific positions.
I probably almost guarantee that Rashid Miller will switch from number 62 to a more cool number if he does make this team, though. With that being said, though, just like when you look at this team as far as the right side of the offensive line as well, how do you, I guess, outside of your article, view a guy like J.C. Latham? You going to stay and play him at that position? You still have Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon here as well. There's competition. Deculus is also a rotational guy with this group as well. They got options, and the goal is sometimes, whether you're going with Fernando Carmona, Pat Coogan, Jackson Slater, is to put the best five out there. And that's a position I wouldn't want to be in if I was the Titans offensive line coach, with what you do with the right side of this group.
Yeah, I think J.C. Latham is for sure their starting right tackle, and I'm of the opinion that there was sort of some nonsense going around this offseason, the kick him to guard, or they're going to trade him, or whatever fans were saying, frustrated fans. I think J.C. Latham probably had a bit of a better season than most realize. I think what happened, well, first of all, he had that injury in camp last year, right? He had that hip injury that they probably shouldn't have downplayed, the previous coaching staff the way that they did. He gets hurt in week one. He misses some time. And then he comes back. It's very clear that it was, painful to play through. And he had some bad reps. There's no doubt about it. He had some bad reps. But I also thought it was a handful here and there. It wasn't necessarily, J.C. Latham was playing a terrible football game. No, 2-3 bad reps. And I get it. You give up a sack, especially with that rookie quarterback, and they gave up too many of them last year. Those things kind of get put under the microscope and analyzed really closely. I didn't think J.C. Latham was as bad last year as some fans make him out to be. And I think he's for sure their starting right tackle in week one. It's the center and right guard positions, right, that you're going into camp with. They've got a lot of quantity, I think, at those spots. Do they have quality? I think that's the fair question to ask, right? Mm-hmm. I would guess if I was a betting man, week one, it's probably Austin Schlottman, at center in week one. He's a veteran guy, played for Brian Dable in the past. And Jackson Slater probably at right guard. There's been some conflicting reports. Is he going to work more at center? Is he going to work more at right guard? Mike Borgonzi, who's obviously the most trustworthy source on that topic, seemed to indicate that he's been working a bit more at guard in terms of what he's preparing, to head into camp as. So TBD, but you've got two intriguing rookies, again, in Pat Coogan and Fernando Carmona. How quickly can they acclimate? How quickly can they put pressure, on the guys who are in that room? Not only, Slater, who's, of course, a young player, but the veterans. Again, like, Schlottman and Cordell Volson have played a lot of football in this league. So I think that probably gives them a leg up. And again, in the case of Schlottman, he's played for this offensive coordinator before. So you'd like to think that probably gives them a huge leg up at center. So they've got names, they've got options. They're not exactly, high-profile players, whether, veterans, and even the rookies, being day 3 picks. Going to be really interesting. I hope we don't get a repeat of, they've got, Sadiq Charles and Dylan Radins and NPF, and, they've got a ton of options there. It'll sort itself out. Sad reality is you like to think it always will, but that's, not always the case. So I think this room's got more upside than that one did, but certainly I think it's probably the biggest question and the biggest concern heading into camp is what that center and right guard spot looks like right now.
Gotcha.
He is Justin Mello at JustinM_NFL, NFL Draft on SI, author of Titans of the South, site expert at Titan Sized. Just follow him on Twitter. You get all of his content there. He is everywhere and crushes it, talking about the Titans of the NFL. Justin, excellent stuff as always. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Justin.
Pleasure. Appreciate you for having me. You know where to find me.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I love it. Justin Mello is great.
Good, man.
He is great. It brings up a good point there. Typically, when you just try to make it work, things don't work on the offensive line.
It'll be all right. No, it will not.
It will not be all right.
I agree with him. The floor of talent has been raised. I got to give it to him on that one. The other part, though, for me, too, he brings up a good part on JC. Like, with J.C. Latham's last year that he had, one, the task of going to Denver last year was not an easy one against that defensive line. We saw that in person. We saw them go deep in the postseason too. But I'll just put this, just a warning shot to like fans that view guys, if you healthy, you go, or hey, you need to be out there. The reputation that JC's kind of created for himself by the coaching staff or either by his will to want to play is why players choose to sit unless they're 100% or mostly healthy going out on the field.
615-737-1045, our number. More headlines for you from the weekend coming up. Tennessee baseball showed signs of a pulse. We'll talk about it next.
It's that time of the year, and love is in the air. My friends at Genesis Diamonds are helping you celebrate the occasion with the most beautiful jewelry, the most dazzling diamonds, and the most gorgeous rings on the planet. Genesis has all the brands you see online from the top designers. No cookie-cutter, mass-produced rings like you see at the other places. A Genesis ring is distinctive, unique, handmade by the finest American craftsmen, designed by true artisans as well. So if you're getting engaged or maybe celebrating a special anniversary, don't settle for a plain ring. Get her a Genesis ring that she will be so proud to wear. The team at Genesis will make you feel so welcome, so comfortable. They are laid back, never pushy, not on commission at all. They are true experts who will help you with honest guidance and expert advice. If you got a question about diamonds, want to know what the real scoop on lab-grown diamonds are, if you want to avoid overpaying, Genesis will make sure you get the education you need to make a smart decision. Genesis Diamonds, best selection, lowest prices, highest quality, strongest warranties, and a 5-star rated staff. And don't forget about their Rolex collection. It will blow your mind. They're located in Cool Springs and Green Hills.
Ramon and Will on 104.5 The Zone and at Ramon and Will on Twitter. 615-737-1045. Tennessee baseball showed some signs of its old self, Ramon.
Yeah, they did.
Sitting at 13 league wins with 2 wins this weekend over Texas University. An old friend, Jim Schlossnagle, the former head coach of the Texas A&M Aggies, who, of course, they beat for a national title in 2024. Tennessee is now feeling pretty good about its chances of getting in the NCAA tournament, and now they don't need to win in Norman, Oklahoma this upcoming weekend. They started hitting home runs again.
Yeah, they did.
Had 6 home runs Saturday in a 14-9 win over 4th-ranked Texas. Solo shots from Garrett Wright, Trent Grinlinger, who was 4 for 5 Saturday with 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored, Manny Marin, and then 2 home runs from Blake Grimmer, Reese Chapman, and Stone Lawless in the first 2 days of the series. That looked a little bit more like Tennessee baseball, Ramon, something that we've not really been able to say so far this season.
Nah, no doubt about it. They look good, man. Starting on Friday night, of course, with pitching. Absolutely lights out. Only 1 run scored against Texas.
Tegan Kuhn's 15 strikeouts on Friday.
Cooked.
He was unreal.
I mean, I think that one night, that one showing for him set the tone for the rest of the weekend, though, as well, because they end up rolling Texas on Saturday. And, of course, I mean, you dropped the last game on Sunday, and Texas fought. They fought harder than the Vols did. But for all, I guess, the conversation around this team and, Coach Elander, they have it still. It's a matter of putting it all together. Bats waking up, pitching finally aligning the way you needed to as well. And it's just a different squad than what Tony Vitello had. But that group, the genesis of it is very much still in that clubhouse. And I think you're seeing a better version of Josh Elander because of it right now with this group.
Yeah, they have figured things out at the plate.
Yeah.
No doubt. And we talked earlier about Tony Vitello's Giants and how early they swing in the count. Tennessee baseball has always been aggressive. If you see your pitch, go get it, regardless of what the count is or how early it is in the count. And you're always going to have duds when you're that aggressive, when you just hit the ball right at guys or, go up against the right pitcher that could take advantage of your over-eagerness. But I feel confident that Tennessee has kind of exercised a lot of its demons at the plate. The problem over the weekend was the fact that Landon Mack has arm soreness and couldn't pitch for you. And this is not a Tennessee team that could afford any more injuries or just inconsistencies from the guys who have been their leaders on the mound. They just ran out of pitching. Yeah. And they're running out of pitching when everyone is healthy. Mm-hmm. And so yesterday you saw where Texas had their 3rd starter ready and Tennessee didn't, and you throw in a young guy, and Taylor Tracy gives up a grand slam in the first inning. They're able to bounce back from it. They hit their own grand slam just a couple minutes later in the first inning as well. But just not a team with a very deep pitching staff. They did not find that bullpen ace, aside from Cam Appenzeller, who's hitting a freshman wall a little bit. Mm-hmm. They didn't have that guy to come out of the bullpen who could just settle things down that they've had in the past. Braden Krenzel's continued to struggle with command. Bo Rudy has been good, but it hasn't shown you that just consistent, like, inning-eating kind of bullpen stopper skill set. He's a closer, but he's not the kind of guy that's going to come in and give you 3 innings on a Saturday when your starter could only go 4 or 5. Brady Frederick, side armor, has been fine. They just haven't really had enough consistency out of the bullpen in order to compete with the best lineups in this conference. So this is a team that's going to need to reload, going to need to spend their war chest to the transfer portal again and kind of roll the dice and a little bit of a different image going forward in the next season. At this point for you, has Josh Elander done enough for you to feel like he is still the man for the job? Yeah,
for such a late departure that Tony Vitello had, like, I'm sure they probably had conversations, Tony Vitello and Josh Elander, about how do we get to this point? Because as close as they were, he had to have let him in on what was going to happen or what could happen. Over 30 wins this year. SEC play is tough. I'm talking about everybody from Kentucky to Mississippi State to Oklahoma to Texas. Like, you look at it, Vanderbilt, it's good ball.
Pretty much everyone but South Carolina and Missouri is playing good ball.
Yeah, I know. South Carolina, who fired the coach, and Vanderbilt, who also dropped, I think, a series to Vanderbilt this week. No, Vanderbilt lost to Missouri this past weekend, too.
I think they lost a game. I'm not sure they lost the series.
Okay, all right.
But we'll have to check that.
The point of it all is this is a very competitive league. The Vols are right now just right below 500 as far as conference play go. They've dominated at home, which you should do. Away games is what's really kicked them in the face a little bit. The series that is.
Yeah, they did lose the series, Vandy did.
They did lose. I thought I'd read that properly. Yeah. But to that point, it's any given series the way you look at this ball team right now. So, yes, Josh Elanders has satisfied it. I do think the expectation of wanting him to be Tony, fiery, over the top, and, hey, our guys
are
going
to be that.
No, yeah. It's to your point, you said it. It looks different. Yep, and
sure.
I think he's done what you asked him to do, especially with the talent that he has. Figuring out his pitching is going to be, I guess, case one for him moving forward.
I am at the very least equally concerned about losing Frank Anderson as I am losing Tony Vitello.
You see it now.
Tennessee just has had some different struggles on the mound that they don't normally have. Tennessee 8th in the conference in overall team ERA. They're 6th in strikeouts. Still 3rd in walks allowed. With 156 of them. Only Auburn and Texas A&M have allowed less free passes than Tennessee has this year. It just has felt like their bullpen has struggled more with walks than it has in the past.
But you got to think, though, like the messaging is probably totally different from the pitching coach that they have now from Coach Anderson and how he goes about managing them. And
from what I've heard, it's not totally different because Josh Reynolds was there with Frank Anderson, so there's not a total departure in style. Different, but I don't think it's like a total 180 they've taken in terms of coaching because they are still 3rd in walks allowed. They've not been awful in that category, but they are 14th in home runs allowed in the SEC. They've given up a lot of long balls. They've given up 70 home runs this season, which is nearly double what Florida has allowed to lead the conference. I don't know. I don't feel overly worried about the Josh Elander era now. Certainly not as much as I was a month ago. Mm-hmm. I think they've responded pretty well.
They have.
I think they've responded pretty well. It's just a frustrating team that is good enough to make it to Omaha and bad enough to lose the first 2 games and go 2 and done in a regional somewhere. So we'll see. I feel like in a sport like baseball where the postseason is so long and is just whoever gets hot at the right time, that's what matters. I just feel like the identity of this team is still yet to be written.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Ask me again in a month how year 1 went for Josh Elander. Right now, it's below expectations, but plenty of time to still meet those with the SEC tournament coming up next week and the NCAA tournament right after the week of Memorial Day right after that. So we'll see.
Going through it.
One of my favorite postseasons in sports, though. I love the NCAA baseball tournament.
Oh, yeah.
So much fun.
Gotcha.
So much fun. Coming up, Nashville SC picked up a draw over the weekend at home. A quick turnaround for them in 2 days again against the second best team in the East. We'll talk about that. Plus some alarming news injury-wise, a unique and scary injury for one of the biggest prospects coming back in 2026 at the SEC as far as football is concerned. We'll talk about that coming up next.
It's Ramon Foss for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Good people, we hate dealing with those issues around the house, whether it be plumbing, some HVAC, or an electrical issue, or to be quite honest with you, something we're just trying to add to our house as well. Hiller can help you with those things, whether you're trying to get a tankless water heater or some electrical work done on the outside of your house. They can do that for you. When it comes to the issue around your house, You don't even know what it will cost you sometimes if it'll get fixed right, or if somebody's trying to sell you something you don't need. I do know this. When you reach out to Hiller, the experts are going to solve your problems quickly. And the prices you're told is the price that you'll actually pay. There are zero hidden fees or surprises on your bill when you book with Hiller. They've been in business for over 35 years and are family-owned and operated. Their techs are very professional, experienced, and trustworthy, and they're all background and drug screen as well. And when they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech that is coming to your home and a link to track them in real time. The motto is, and they truly believe it, happy you'll bill, the service is free. If you book with Hiller and you're not satisfied with the work, they'll either try to fix it the best they can or simply say, here's your money back. To learn more about Hiller, head over to happyhiller.com.
9:01, good morning, live from the Circuit Sports, the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. NFL news this morning. The first Sunday night game of the NFL season is set. September 13th, we'll see the Giants hosting the Cowboys at MetLife Stadium Week 1. The full schedule release is coming up this Thursday on May 14th. Round 2 of the NBA playoffs on Sunday. The New York Knicks headed to the Eastern Conference Finals after beating the Philadelphia 76ers 144-114, completing the 4-0 series sweep. And then the Timberwolves took down the Spurs 114-109 and tied their series up at 2 games apiece. The NHL playoffs, the Canadiens have a 2-1 series lead over the Buffalo Sabres after a blowout 6-2 win on Sunday. And the Ducks tied their series up at 2 games apiece with a 4-3 win over the Vegas Golden Knights Sunday night. And Nashville Soccer Club came back from down 2-0 to DC United Saturday night at Geodis Park thanks to Warren Madrigal's 2 goals in the 76th and 89th minute to give Nashville a point and the 2-2 draw. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into the fourth and final hour of the show. Ramon and Will rolls on. Wherever you download podcasts, it'll be available at 10. And wherever you stream us, we're glad you decided to join us. Make us a part of your Monday morning. Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. 615-737-1045 is the number. Scary headline from Missouri football this morning. SEC leading rusher Ahmad Hardy was shot at a concert in Mississippi, and there is no timetable for his return to football activities. They do say he is in stable condition, but was sustained a gunshot wound at a concert early Sunday morning, according to an official release from Missouri football.
We were just talking to Brent Hubbs about the Vols being let go to go home and, be away from football facility. His first weekend home, he gets shot. I'm glad he's all right, but I hope that never ever be shot, but for you to be shot and survive, you're also that close to death as well. And for a guy that's got such a bright future, we can't be reckless with our abilities to possess guns in these type of situations, especially when you just going home to have a good time as well. I don't know what the situation was. I'd almost guess it probably didn't even involve Ahmad Hardy, not even a little bit, just caught a stray. And that's where it becomes super reckless in these type of situations. Because I've gone back home whenever, either in the league or either in the NFL or even in college. And you just want to go back and get some of that love, man. Hey, I'm amongst my people, and you have this happen. Does it say where he got shot?
Just says he was shot Sunday in Mississippi, underwent surgery on Sunday, and is in stable condition.
Come on, Sip. Come on, man.
Says Ahmad is deeply loved by his teammates, coaches, friends, family, and fans. We continue to stand beside him and his family through this difficult time, offering our love, prayer, strength, and support. This is the official Missouri statement. At the end, it says, a timeline for his return to football activities is unknown at this time. Mizzou Athletics will provide more information on his status when it becomes available.
Tough.
That's all we got.
Yeah, all good, man. Well, I'm glad that he's all right, because that's got to be a scary situation with that hot leg going through your hot steel going through your body like that.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
He is, first of all, a young man and a human being, and anybody getting shot is a big deal and having to undergo surgery. But he is a player with a very bright future.
Yes, he is.
And a bright present. SEC's leading rusher last year, and I think of potential first-round talent in the 2027 NFL draft. So prayers to him and his family. That's scary.
What was up? Because I've actually heard this happen before. Jealousy in the hometown. What if it was his backup running back in high school that said it should have been me?
I feel like that's maybe something we shouldn't speculate on, but
no, I'm joking.
I know you're joking.
But I heard about this happening in West Tennessee while I was from. It was this cat from Brownsville that left and came back. And there was some jealousy surrounding him, and some dude walked up to him while he's doing the exact same thing Ahmad Hardy and so many players do when they go back home. Walked up to him, and in that era, you get, tearing ACL or something, but some guy shot him in the knee and told him, this is it for you. Yeah.
Jeez.
No, seriously. Be careful out there, good people.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Definitely. Over the weekend, Nashville Soccer Club gets a 2-2 draw against DC United. This one was insane. Down 2-0 in the first half. Went down 2-0 going into halftime. BJ Callahan, the head coach, after the game said it was unacceptable from his team and that standards dropped. Things just didn't look close to as good as they were supposed to look. And any phase of the game, he said attacking, defending, set pieces, all of it. Just hated the way his team played in the first 45 minutes. Nashville was down 2-0 going into the 75th minute and scored to the 76th and 89th. Warren Madrigal with a brace off the bench, his first career multi-goal game in MLS. And Nashville gets a point. Not the result you wanted going into the game, but considering the context of just how bad things looked in the first half, the injuries that you've sustained so far through the opening 17 matches, now this is the 18th game of the season, you'll take something. The unbeaten streak continues at home. Nashville, just one of 3 teams at MLS still unbeaten at home this season. They're about to play one of the other ones in New England, who is perfect. They've won every match they've played at home this season. They played them Wednesday night that we'll have here on the Zone for you at 6:30. NSC still outscored teams 18-6. This is the only time that Nashville had been down 2 goals all year. This was their 18th game of the season. Red card to DC in the 75th minute totally changed this game, and it was an easy call from the young ref who made it. Allowed Nashville to get back in it, and Warren Madrigal, man, he looked good. He is a really, really talented young winger that I think NSC fans are going to grow to like quite a bit. He just has that knack in the box for finding ways to score and finding ways to test the goalkeeper. And my goodness, he did not have to wait very long to get on the field and make an impact coming off the bench and scoring twice. So the other MLS team that was in the CONCACAF Champions Cup semifinal, LAFC, they lost 4-1 at home to Houston last night. Jeez. It's just kind of the way things go when you're in this competition and you're balancing a continental championship and MLS at the same time. So you get out of there with a draw, you take it, you move forward. Right now, Nashville's in a stretch of 23 days and 7 matches. That's a lot of soccer in a really short amount of time. So finding ways to get something important, and they were able to do that Saturday night.
Per our conversation last week, though, speaking about this matchup, they were also missing numerous bodies as well.
Missing
right?
Patrick Yazbek, Eddie Tagseth, and Sam Surridge. Yep.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you're saying the young guys did step up, or the reserves did answer the call when it came into them providing some solutions for them. Just wasn't enough. How did DC end up jumping out on them more than anything in this game?
Really good on a couple of counterattacking moments. Nashville just made some mistakes building out of pressure that they don't normally make.
Okay.
There were some unforced errors that DC took advantage of. Set piece defending was not Nashville's best the other night either. Lucas Bartlett, the DC center back, scored on a corner kick late in the first half. And Nashville had some chances, had a couple of opportunities. NSC hit the crossbar twice, including a Christian Espinoza deflected shot with 1 minute left in stoppage time that would have won them the game. It hit off the crossbar and was really close. A big chance in the first half that Sean Johnson, the veteran DC keeper, saved. That would have been a big one. Just kind of a mix of not taking your chances, but also some unforced errors and some turnovers in your own half. Not really something we've seen Nashville do a whole lot this season. I didn't think they were clean enough in possession Saturday night.
This, where they are in the season right now, this is a little bit of the reset that they need, because Nashville SC's been hot. They hadn't really missed or had opportunities in where you say they didn't look like themselves. Is that the reserves that were playing, or was this just, hey, you've had a little bit too much success, let's kind of reset right now?
It's not too much success. It's just a matter of too many games.
Okay.
When you play this much, it just hurts the overall freshness and crispness of who you are as a team. A, because you have tired legs. B, because you can't practice.
Yeah, okay.
When you play as much as NSC has, you just don't have time to train. So I talked to BJ Callahan, the head coach, about that in our production meeting last week. He was like, I mean, there's stuff that we need 2 or 3 training sessions to kind of go back and correct and fix. But when you're playing every 3 days, we just don't have time to go fix things. Mm-hmm. You're playing Saturday to Wednesday to Saturday to Tuesday to Saturday to Wednesday to Sunday, and it's another 3-match in 8-day stretch right now. Nashville SC will play Wednesday night at New England, and then Sunday against LAFC, who I mentioned just a minute ago is the other team who was in the semifinal of this competition of CONCACAF Champions Cup. For me, LAFC and Nashville SC are the 2 best teams in MLS.
Okay.
I would put Nashville ahead of LA, marginally, considering the teams they beat to get to their semifinal. But I think take your pick. I think it's one of those 2 teams that's the best right now. I think Nashville is just a little bit more battle tested for me. Mm-hmm. So at this point, it's less about just they were kind of due for defeats. I just think they are seeing the punishment of something positive, right? Like when you win more games, you get to play more games in this sport. It also means it just hurts your ability to train, to be crisp, to just look like yourself because you're just playing so much and running a lot of miles and getting back from Mexico early Wednesday morning and turning right around and having to learn a new opponent. It's just really, really hard to manage 2 competitions at the same time in the sport.
This will benefit Nashville SC moving forward by getting some of these reserves playing, though, too.
100%.
Yeah.
It's a great point. I mean, Charles Emile Brunet, rookie out of SMU, made his debut over the weekend. You get the opportunity just to see more styles of opponents.
Yeah.
That's the thing the coaching staff has talked about. Like, Champions Cup helps them because you're playing in 70, 80,000 seat stadiums. It takes away some of the pressure of just the monotony and the day-to-day of MLS matches. Because once you've won in Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, you can win anywhere.
Okay.
That Nashville SC will ever play. So that's the first thing. But secondly, you just learn more lessons. You see different setups. The way Tigres played them will help them moving forward when another team plays that style. It just allows them to see different types of defenses, different types of attacks, different types of wingers that are going to challenge their fullbacks and challenge their defenders in other ways. That's where it really helps them.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, first versus second in the MLS Eastern Conference coming up on Wednesday.
Hey, let's go.
It's going to be fun. NSC at New England. I'll have the call at 6:30, 6 o'clock pregame here on the station. We'll talk a little bit more about it Wednesday as well. But Sunday is going to be really fun. It's a really big-time club in LAFC coming here. I know there are a lot of fans who love Heung-min Son, who is the Korean striker who plays for LAFC as well, formerly from the smallest club in London, Tottenham Hotspur. And so there are a lot of Tottenham fans who love him for some reason, I guess. I don't know. But I don't know. They love him as a player because they haven't really loved anything about their team recently because they're so bad. But yeah, it'll be a really, really fun one Sunday night. I've got to throw my digs anytime I can.
I mean, why not? Why would you not?
As a fan of the team on the doorstep of winning the title in Arsenal, I've got to take that opportunity anytime I can. Coming up, Easton Freeze had a piece at A2Zsports.com about where the Titans' defense is better or worse than September. So we'll take a look at it and give you our thoughts. Where is the Titans' defense improved or worse than at the beginning of the 2025 season? That's next.
It's Ramon Foster, and I'm with Aaron from United Structure Systems. Man, they came by today to check out my house. If there's anything, any issues, small or big, you're going to fill us in there.
We can take care of it no matter what kind of problems. So first off, we'll just kind of take a look through your house and see what kind of issues you got going. You know, cracks in the brick, cracks in the drywall, weird spots in the floor, doors sticking, windows not opening properly. Once we identify those areas, we're going to do a thorough inspection around the outside, make sure there's no issues going on with that. And then once we look over it, we'll talk about what's going on, and hopefully we ain't got no issues, and then we'll go from there.
Let's go. Let's go.
Ms. Foster, so we have looked at the issues that you brought up. We had the drywall in the attic up here above your bonus or your garage. You had some doors sticking.
I did.
Going in your bathroom. So we've inspected all that. We don't see any major structural concerns. So you're going to be one of our lucky good news customers today. There is some minor deflection there. That's not an uncommon thing. As any house is built, it's its biggest and its strongest the day that it's born. Right, and from that point, it just gets older, just like us. We ain't hopping up out of bed, taking off down the hallway, running downstairs anymore.
Not protecting quarterbacks anymore.
No.
Opening up late. We're done.
Your guard ain't there no more.
Okay,
So,
I got you.
so it just happens. It gets a little older and it starts to deflect. Now, there are some things we can do to kind of help adjust those doors, mainly adjusting in the door, which we don't necessarily do, and maybe doing some light shimming in the crawl space down there to address those sticking doors. But for now, no major issues there. We did talk about the grading in the back and some issues that we can take care of back there for you. But that's pretty much up in a nutshell. No big issues, and you're good to go. So.
Awesome. So again, the way you deal with United Structural Systems is it's upfront, it's honest, and now I can sleep peacefully at night, okay?
This is a different court, Blair.
Same result, Slay.
Oh, okay, Blair. See, that's Tyler Tanner. See, Tyler Tanner's in the house now.
Let's see what you got. Jerry's out, Blair.
Blair, come on. Okay, Blair, just come sit down. Come on, Blair, stop. You're going to get hurt. Blair, get off the court. That's enough.
What's the verdict, Blair? The courtroom is where I play ball.
Boy, Durham, injury law. And that ain't got no roof.
Ramon Will rolls on. Hour number 4 continues. 615-737-1045, our number. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling. And streaming live at 1045 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. So Easton Freeze had a good article at A2ZSports.com about where the Titans' defense is better or worse. Such a good idea that we're going to bring it to you and give you our thoughts position group by position group. Tomorrow we'll do the same on the offensive side. He's got corner, Ramon, as the most improved unit on the Titans defense. Do you agree?
I would have elected defensive line.
Okay. He's got that number 3.
So he got corner, linebacker,
edge, second most improved group.
I combine them. I combine edge and D-line together.
Okay.
That's a me problem. It's not a him problem.
Corner from September 2025, your corners were L'Jarius Sneed, Roger McCreary, Jarvis Brownlee. Amazing. The Titans played like a month and a half of the season with none of those 3 guys on the roster either. But this is what you started the season with. Darrell Baker Jr., Marcus Harris, Jalen Armour Davis. Today, your corners are Alante Taylor, Cordell Flott, Marcus Harris, Josh Williams, Micah Robinson, and Eric Hallett. Certainly better.
Yeah.
Edge rusher, September 2025. He says second most improved. Draymond Jones, Arden Key, Femi Oladejo, Jihad Ward, Jalen Harrell. May 2026, Jermaine Johnson, Femi Oladejo, Keldrick Falk, Jacob Martin, Jalen Harrell. I want to pause there for a moment.
Yeah.
Is the edge group better to you? From what they started with in September, I'm not sure it is.
Because Draymond Jones was fine. Very fine.
Draymond Jones, 4.5 sacks in 9 games last season.
And just impact of him being able to be disruptive. I do want to see what this version of Jermaine Johnson and like right in front of us this year in stadiums is going to show as far as the upgrade. Because Draymond, I feel like, one, you had the health component already there. I get somewhat cautious about guys dealing with Achilles, although Jermaine Johnson played last year, fine, I'm there. Femi, to me, and Jalen Harrell are the side eyes of that group. Not knowing what Femi is, if he actually fits this scheme. And Jalen ate off of Jeffrey Simmons, played a good bit last year as well. I'm not sure if you can say Jalen Harrell straight up beat guys as it pertains to his ability to just line up and go get it. He got cleanup duties. And again, those stats still matter because if Jeff's doing this part and get double teamed, you're supposed to go eat as well. Femi's the wild card in this one as well. And I guess we'll see what Jacob Martin's capable of as well out of this group, but I don't necessarily believe that it's probably second best. Heck, I would have gone corner then interior more than almost anything this year.
So 2 things on this. First and foremost, I would count John Franklin Myers and Solomon Thomas as part-time edges.
See that.
On one hand, yes, the edge group is, I think, at best equal to what it was at this time last year.
Yeah.
I think the positive for Titans fans and for this system is that you are asking less of that group of players than you were under Denard Wilson's defense.
Mm-hmm.
At any given time, 2 of those guys were on the field in the old scheme, in a 3-4 defense, with 2 out-and-out edge rushers on each side of that front line. Oftentimes, you're only going to see one of those guys on the front 4 for Robert Saleh's defense because you will see the bigger edge setter types of Solomon Thomas, John Franklin Myers, who on early downs I think starts out there a little bit more, and Keldrick Falk.
I agree.
Who is of a similar skill set to John Franklin Myers a little bit, and more of an Eric Armstead archetype of big edge setter with plus traits and run stopping and potential as a pass rusher. So, yeah, I'm not sure the edge rusher group is all that much better, but I do think it's less isolated as far as this system is concerned. You think that's a fair way to put it?
That's a great way to put it. That's why I look at it as like defensive line more than anything. Will also too, like I'm not criticizing in my assessment of this article, but I would have probably ended up moving defensive tackles above the edge as opposed to edge being two, because, again, the experience you get with John Franklin Myers and also Jordan Elliott, Solomon Thomas, those three right there raise the level almost to be the number one most improved side of the ball for the Titans defense.
On the defensive line in September 2025, the Titans had Jeffrey Simmons, Tavondre Sweat, Sebastian Joseph Day, James Lynch, Shai Tuttle, and C.J. Ravenel.
That's not a bad group, though. What you're asking them to do.
No, I don't think it was a bad group.
Not a bad group at all.
May 2026, Jeffrey Simmons, John Franklin Myers, Jordan Elliott, Solomon Thomas, Jackie Marshall, C.J. Ravenel. Jordan Elliott is a space eater, 2 seasons with 30-plus tackles, not someone who's going to fill up the stat sheet. He allows the defensive lineman playing next to him to rack up the stats and production. Solomon Thomas is a player with 18 and a half sacks in 9 seasons. He had 5 sacks in 2023 with Saleh and the Jets.
You just can't take a playoff with him. Solomon Thomas. You're just like, he might not fill it up.
You played against him, haven't you?
Yes. He's just a headache. Like, each and every play, like, just as soon as you think, all right, Jeffrey Simmons out of the game. Nope, absolutely not. Here's Solomon, and he's going to give you 100 miles per hour each and every play. Like, he might give it up as far as size go, but if he ever gets you on the edge, Will, it's going to be heck to pay just based off the fact that that's how he's earned a living for, what you say, 9 going into 10 years right now?
Yep.
You don't ever have to guess with him.
Going into year 10, he was drafted 3rd overall by the 49ers in 2017. Has not lived up to that billing.
Yeah.
But that's not what he's being asked to be. He's not being asked to be a superstar on this defense. He's being asked to be a rotational big edge and big defensive end in a 4-3 system that he's, I'd say, a pretty good fit for.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
I think the defensive line is better because I think, while yes, on paper with Tavondre Sweat next to Jeffrey Simmons, I think the September 2025 group had a higher ceiling when Sweat was healthy and in shape. He wasn't healthy or in shape enough. And so I think the consistency of this group is going to be better. And I also really like the Jackie Marshall edition. The more I learn about Jackie Marshall, the more I watch him, the more I hear smart people talking about the draft, talk about Jackie Marshall, the more I love that as a third down specialist interior pass rusher that can give John Franklin Myers a break at times.
Yeah.
Or even give Jeffrey Simmons a break at times. I mean, how many times do we look over on the sideline and see Jeffrey Simmons with his helmet on, standing next to coach, watching something bad happen for the Titans defense, thinking, why in the heck is this guy on the sideline?
I laugh because I think we all know what that image looks like. And then it'll be a stoppage of play, and you see Jeff walking on the field, helmet in hand, just looking like, I leave for 2 plays, and this is what you guys do?
The feeling of hearing it's third down, and just seeing Jeffrey Simmons not out there is a very helpless feeling.
It is.
They have taken steps to address that and to say, we've got to be able to change the faces and the numbers that are out there, but still be the same defense within reasonable expectation.
Yeah, and more than anything, like, because I'm not sure what the stats are going to look like at the end of the season with this new reshape defensive line and with this new defensive scheme as well. But you throw Jackie Marshall name out there, the rookie from Baylor as well. The one thing I look at with him is this. He's the type that you have to say, just looking at his college tape, I'd rather say woe than sick him. And I feel like sometimes when you look at this defensive line group or how they've produced, you got to almost ask yourself, well, where was the sick part of it last year? Like the inconsistencies of it. Just starting with Tavondre Sweat. The availability side of it for him, when you look at other guys like James Lynch, like you knew they were going to be fine, but you didn't know what the level of play was going to be each and every series if Jeff had to come out or if Sebastian Joseph Day had to come out as well at times. Like, where was the production going to be? The way I look at it, when you look at a young guy like Jackie Marshall, is the ability to just get upfield and create chaos does a whole lot for you when the back end of that group, from the linebackers to secondary, can clean up. If you got a group that can be disciplined enough to stay in their lanes and attack, I hated it, is what I would say to you. Now, when they meet their match with a team that's probably like the 49ers or one of those teams that work well going side to side or with a mobile quarterback, that's where discipline of that chaos I'm speaking of needs to be at top of mind. But how they've gone after certain types, the way I view them and looked at their tape, probably you will notice them more than anybody else on this defense. I mean, on this team, to be quite honest with you.
It's the beauty of running a one-gap scheme that is designed to let your defensive linemen and your linebackers play at a very high level.
Yes.
And play very aggressively and put up big numbers.
Yeah.
Maybe not the interior defensive linemen always, but the pass rushers and the attackers, the human torpedoes that you have at linebacker.
They make you work off one foot often. Because the moment you take the false step or your foot is up in the air, you're going to end up paying for it, either through penetration or you just get knocked on your back a little bit, or just create some uneasiness for the people that are either getting the ball as far as the running backs or holding onto the ball like the quarterbacks do.
Yep. Linebacker is listed as the next position in terms of overall improvement. And in September 2025, the linebacker room consisted of Cody Barton, Cedric Gray, James Williams, and Dorian Mausi, who is a special teams specialist. In May of 2026, Cedric Gray, Cody Barton, Anthony Hill, Mahmoud Diabate, James Williams, Dorian Mausi. I think Diabate is kind of a sneaky, nice addition.
Yep.
I think Mahmoud Diabate is nearly guaranteed to make this roster.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to play.
Yeah.
Played in all 17 games for Cleveland last year, had 70 tackles in 13 games in 2024 with 5 TFLs. Another option to be one of the 3 linebackers out there. And when you do have 3 linebackers that are going to play on the field at the same time more often in a 4-3 defense, you have more of a need for depth at the linebacker position. You feel like the Titans are better at linebacker than they were a year ago?
I do, just simply based off the experience, and not just that. The amount of bodies that you have too as well. Like, that's the other part of this situation. They've created competition. They raised the floor is what I would say on this one, man, because you mentioned Diabate. He played in a defense last year with Cleveland that had the Defensive Rookie of the Year. So you know the production support of whatever role that he's going to be asked to play. His ability to get behind the line of scrimmage is unique as well. And, again, he flies all over the place too. So I like this uniform. How they were able to get him, man, just tells you, one, you got to like to be able to play with Robert Saleh and his defense. And the way he was asked to do his job last year in Cleveland, I think he'll be asked to do similar things there in Nashville.
I think they are better at linebacker. I'd say that's the second most improved group, in my opinion, behind corner. Just for the simple fact of Robert Saleh as the coach. And that's not really what Easton was doing, but I'll do it and say that this system will make these linebackers so much better. And I think that Anthony Hill Jr. is going to end up being an upgrade on what you got on the field last season, late in the year. I think Anthony Hill Jr. is as impactful of a rookie as there is on this team outside of probably Carnell Tate. And that's not really a hot take. Obviously, he's a second-round pick, but I'm confident in him having a bigger immediate impact than Keldrick Falk does, who I think is a bit more of a project in a position that's going to rotate bodies more than the Titans will at linebacker.
You willing to say that he's day one starter, Anthony Hill?
I'm not.
I am.
Really?
Yeah.
Why's that?
I don't think you'll be able to keep him off the field with who's presented in front of him. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but Jeremy Fowler even had like starters in risk of getting their position taken and had Cody Barton.
Yeah, that was the Ben Solak article we talked about last week.
Ben Solak, yeah. And that being a part of the conversation already, you're going to, again, minimize his ability to make mistakes by putting him around with so many veteran guys. We've spoken numerous times now about how this defense with Gus Bradley and Robert Saleh is curated to allow young players flourish. When you look at speed, you look at ability, and you look at time on task already for Anthony Hill Jr., along with people speaking about how smart he is to retaining and being able to deliver information out. I'm not afraid to say he might end up being opening day starter. He got to go win
I mean,
it.
if you're counting 3 linebackers as starters, then yes.
Yeah.
If you're counting really 2 as actual starters that are going to play the majority of the reps, I'm not at that point quite yet. I think Cody Barton has done enough to still earn the day one start. I think Anthony Hill Jr. is taking over Cody Barton's spot by the end of October.
By the end of October.
That's my guess.
Not a bad place to be at.
No, I don't think so at all.
You keep Cody in a reserve role and still locked in as well, to your point. So
depending on the type of offense you're playing, I think there is reason to believe that all of them are going to play a lot of snaps.
I would expect so.
I think James Williams has a chance to play a lot more snaps.
I'm more out than in on James' ability to play on defense right now.
At safety, Easton Freeze makes an interesting point that on paper, this room has downgraded from September of 2025. And I think he's got an argument. In September, the safety room was filled with Amani Hooker, Xavier Woods, Kevin Winston Jr., Quandre Diggs, and Mike Brown. Right now, it has Amani Hooker, Kevin Winston Jr., Tony Adams, Kendall Brooks, and Sanusi Kane. Justin Mello was on the show an hour ago. We asked about some of the high-impact undrafted guys. Yeah. He brought up USC safety Bishop Fitzgerald, one of the team's 11 undrafted free agents, and said he could have a very big impact in this room right away.
I know a lot of attention right now is on that wide receiver out of John Carroll, right? Tyron Montgomery, because he, such a heartwarming pre-draft story, so easy to root for. He's so exciting. But I also think the reality is that Titans wide receiver room is pretty good, right? Like it's in better shape than it's been in quite some time. So when I look at guys who could actually make this 53, I think you've got to start with, areas on the roster that would benefit, right, from some upgrades, specifically on the back end. First name that pops to me is, USC safety Bishop Fitzgerald. This guy had 10 career college interceptions, 5 this past year for USC. Bit of a ball hawk, right? And I think you can earn that reputation when you make 10 picks in 3 years. And I look at what the Titans have at safety. Starters, presumably Amani Hooker and Kevin Winston Jr. Okay, both kind of injury prone throughout their careers so far. Can certainly use some back-end depth at that spot. Although they didn't do a whole lot, right? Like they cut Xavier Woods, who started for them a year ago. They signed Tony Adams, and, there's some familiarity with Robert Saleh there. He coached him in New York. Bit of an overachiever, based on his draft status, but also in reality, kind of a replacement level player. He's their number 3 safety going into camp. So I look at that room, they lost Mike Brown as well, who I thought was a high upside number 4/special teams ace. They need some back-end depth to emerge there, and I think that gives Bishop Fitzgerald a really good chance heading into camp.
Justin Mello with us earlier this morning.
That's good stuff.
I think Bishop Fitzgerald has the best chance of making this team as one of the 11 UDFAs because of how thin that room is. On paper, yeah, I think that's the one area on defense where they are not as good right now as they were when the season started. Now, season hasn't started, obviously, and is not close to starting. They've still got 4 months on the calendar to figure out how they can make that room a little bit deeper. But if you're looking for kind of a sneaky, underrated position of need still for the Titans, I think they could use another safety that's got some proven experience in this league.
Absolutely. And just looking at it, too, the last 2 years that room has somewhat been problematic. Armani, not our money, like the clothing. Situation, too, is unique. Getting up in age a little bit as well. You're trying to figure out where you're going to get it out of him as well. Injuries have kind of snake bitten him. He hasn't missed a ton of time, but there's been moments in which you see the injuries kind of pile up a little bit. That is a position last year and this one, I think that's pretty much about the same. If he wants to call it worse, I could most definitely see that. The name Quandre Diggs jumps out on you from last year's roster, but you didn't get anything out of that either. So, yeah. And again, this is why the position is devalued as much as it is right now, is how do you define what's good and what's not?
And you could always go find a safety is kind of the thinking. And in May, I mean, Titans may have proved last year you can't always go find a safety because they were so banged up at safety at one point that they had to dig pretty deep into who was available in free agency during the season.
Sure did.
I mean, that San Francisco game where you had 3 safeties get hurt in the same game was pretty incredible in a bad way.
Making phone calls on the plane to get back and figure out who you're going to sign.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Xavier Woods is still a free agent. You think the team should have interest there if he's willing to come back on a one-year deal?
If they release him this early, probably not. I know he's familiar to the Titans, but he ain't familiar to this staff.
615-737-1045. Final headlines, final call for phone calls as we wrap up the show next. Ramon Will wrapping up the show on this Monday morning. David Njoku finally off the board in free agency, Ramon. Dealing a 1-year contract with the Chargers this morning, worth up to $8 million. So congrats to David Njoku and signing a deal of $5 million.
Yeah.
When somebody's signing in May for up to a number, just cut that number in half, and that's more like what they're actually getting.
No, that's exactly what that is. Good for him, man. Always been a super athlete. Made some acrobatic catches all throughout his career so far. It's just that he's been in Cleveland, brother, and that right there holds his issues. They've had issues at quarterback and just stability in general, but he's a heck of a player. Got burned up 1 year and continued to play football as well as he wore a mask, I guess a burn mask over his face. But good for him. He's going to a place where he can hopefully show his talents even more so.
I like that deal a lot. With a Mike McDaniel offense in Los Angeles, which is going to take some getting used to.
Yeah.
Not bad.
It is. Not bad at all.
Giants and Cowboys will be the first Sunday night football game of the year. The other headline that came out this morning, it is schedule release week because we make this a week-long thing now. I feel like by the time the schedule actually officially comes out, we've already learned like 2/3 of the actual schedule.
I like it. Don't keep me waiting. Like, you got the list already. Just drop the list, please. Go ahead and give it to us. It is exciting. People get to plan the fall's hotel bookings. And the one thing that I always pay attention to, I know I probably talk about it more than I should, but I absolutely enjoy seeing who got how many primetime games.
How do you think the Titans will do in that?
I think they'll get – I can see them getting 2.
I'd say 1, but we'll see. It's such a classic topic this time of year when we get to schedule release time, and for good reason. You guys are interested in it, so we're interested in it. But I think that Raiders game is primetime in Vegas.
You think Raiders
The last 2 number 1 overall picks.
Okay.
If Mendoza's even the starter, to be fair. But they could put that game in November when they feel like Fernando Mendoza's probably going to be starting. Throw that thing on Thursday Night Football. There you go.
Leave the Jets game alone. Yeah. Don't matter. That old girlfriend don't matter in this situation. Well, yeah.
Good point. Maybe.
I just look at the storylines.
That's another one. Yep.
Giants. Giants in 26.
Yep. Titans go to the New York Giants. To Jersey. Face New Jersey's football team.
I can see that. I got 2. Mid-afternoons, I like those, that slot as well. Mid-afternoon games. They got storylines and coaches and names this year more than they ever have in years past since Derek's gone, respectfully.
I mean, that's not been very long, to be fair, but yeah.
Was it 2 years? 2, 3 years?
2 years.
2 years? So, yeah, I'll ride with that one, though. I'm here for it.
Sure.
Yeah. You plan on going to any games this year? Nah.
Yeah, I plan on going to all of them. But I'm being on the radio for them.
The home opponents, of course, AFC South. You got Cleveland, Jets, Eagles. A.J. Brown or no A.J. Brown is the question.
No.
Still is.
I would say just tweet at Diana Rossini and ask, but she doesn't have a Twitter anymore.
Yeah, everything's gone. That's tough.
The clips are still there, but she's not. But yes, no, it's an exciting week. All the social media teams around the league, it's like Christmas for them.
Yeah, it's a good home schedule and away schedule. Good schedule at all.
Just have to deal with the Philadelphia sports fans when they come to town for the Eagles.
That ain't too bad. Heck, I think, no. Screw that. I think this fan base hates the Steelers coming in town more than anybody else. At least I hear a lot of that coming on from my.
I'd say we as a fan base dislike the Steelers more, but Eagles fans are the worst of the worst.
I see the difference. Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
Back at it tomorrow morning. Austin Price will be here for his weekly visit. Take a look at where the Titans' offense has gotten better or worse, like it did this morning with the defense as we roll through. Off-season, but I know the big voice guy says, there is no off-season. Our season never ends. It is sit here and just kind of hang out for 4 hours season. You know what? I still think we're pretty dang good at that too.
No doubt about it, and I'm here for it, man. But you must remember at all times, your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot.